Okay guys, so this is day one of Azure Administrator, or day 15 of Cloud 4-in-1 as well. So Azure Administrator AZ-104 course, it's really important in GTA. Now they say, well, I've started hearing that GTHA, maybe they've been saying that. So Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. So lots of jobs there for Azure Administrator skills that you learn. And not only that, the good thing is that, and it's good and strange thing, that there's a Azure Administrator AZ-104 course, and then there is also AZ-300. That's also very important. And AZ-300 is actually Azure Architect course, right? So the strange thing is that 70% of the topics of Azure Administrator AZ-104 are also in AZ-300, although the exam itself is a bit tricky and tough, because they're expecting you to be an architect. So how do you plan that? But majority of the topics, if you really work hard now, give your 100% now, the effort to do all the labs and to understand all the topics. So you actually will be preparing 100% of the AZ-104 administrator exam topics, but also you will be preparing 70% of the AZ-300 Azure Architect as well, right? So that's a really important course, and I'm gonna go dig down deep into this. So to get you the best labs there out there available, the more tougher, the more complicated the labs are, the more value yours will be in the market. When you say that, oh, I can connect VPN, side-to-side VPN or point-to-side VPN, whichever, for Azure and AWS and Google Cloud, or when you say that I can configure multiple subnets in the VPC in AWS or VNets in Azure, and you're comparing AWS and Azure Cloud, or you're comparing Azure and Google Cloud, so that would be really interesting, and that would be required, or those skills on your resume will look very good. So the thing is that my concept of teaching the course is that the course IT courses, IT field is a practical field, right? So the IT course have to be job oriented. What that means is not only that you should clarify your concepts, but you should know how to implement more complicated concepts, right? So that's why every step of the video or the lab will be recorded, and you can follow it, and you should follow. Right now, if you give 100%, later you can just enjoy your life with a good job there, 40 per hour, 30 per hour, 35 per hour. There are so many contracts that pay a lot, and then another contract comes that pays a lot, then another contract. So the thing is that, do you have those skills to get the contracts, to get the job done, right? So a lot of skills are needed there. So these are Microsoft Azure administrator skills are one of the most sought after skills in the Greater Toronto area. In North America, actually, it is. My elder brother is in Australia. He's a system admin, and he was saying that there in Australia they are asking for AWS skills, and Azure is nowhere there. But in North America, there are more jobs for Azure, and well, AWS is still the top vendor. But the thing is that we're gonna just check. Uh, so okay, guys, let's try to get to first of all that how important it is Azure in our market. Are there many jobs there? Sorry, guys. There are some other students who are still. Uh, Okay, so let's try to. First of all, what I do is I normally go to Indeed.com, and then we try to go for, hey, are there any jobs for what I'm about to do here? Well, normally when you are doing a course, you must make sure, are the skills taught in the course really required in the market as well. So you always go to the job announcements to the recruiters, and you see that what is required in the market. So if I type Azure for Toronto area or GTA area as well, right? So this is, does it get GTA as well? Yeah, GTA Ontario, Greater Toronto area. Okay. So if you go to Greater Toronto area and just type Azure there, or Azure and AWS is even better, because majority of the companies in Greater Toronto area and well in North America, US and Canada, right? So they're always multi-cloud. So multi-vendor would always be a very good idea to go. So, but if I go for just Azure and enter, so Azure Solutions Engineer. Yeah, okay. Send me. So when you do a search, it Indeed.com asks that, hey, you want more jobs in this area for this particular Azure. So I'm just gonna say yes. Send me new jobs as well. So it's gonna email me those new jobs. I have a job group as well where some of my friends also forward me jobs. Hey, you got someone? So I just put that in my job group. So with your permission, I can add you to those that job group as well. And also few of the students who already had some experience and they applied at the right time, interview was good, so they got hired as well. So we will never know who will get hired. So my job is to forward the job announcements. So anyway, if you go to this Indeed.com, you can see that Azure Solutions Engineer, and if we click that, so on the right side it comes there. Well, they're just first offering bonus pay and dental care and extended, but what they need is Azure IaaS and PaaS technologies. So, infrastructure as a service, which we are about to start now with Azure, Microsoft Azure, and platform as a service, that's mostly towards developer side as well. And then there is information technology, IT systems administrator, and that is in Moati Athletic, Toronto. Well, in Toronto, and they also are asking for Azure skills there, other than SharePoint, Exchange, PowerShell, and then it goes on and on, right? So if you go for more skills, those jobs were lined up here, and they go on and on, all in Toronto area, or GTA or GTHA, Greater Toronto and Hamilton area, right? So even analyst help desk, how can we have that here? So if we click that and I go for Control F here and type Azure, yep, there you go. So Microsoft Azure Active Directory for even help desk, they're expecting you should know Azure, so you could create users. We're gonna go for administrator level, so you could apply for level 2, level 3 jobs there instead of. But if you're starting in the IT field, you're switching your career. Still, so many have done that who were switching their careers from accounts to IT or some other job or some career to IT. So then you would start with analyst and help desk, and even they need you to know about Azure. Mohammed Jafi says in the chat here on the other screen, I'm just reading it out. Companies are asking at least 2+ working experience in AWS or Azure. So is it okay to add fake experience in the resume? Okay, so yeah, if I'm coughing, this means that okay, let me just clear my throat now. Okay. No, this what I'm doing is, yeah, this is fake. My throat is okay. So I'm gonna pause this video now to answer this. Recording going on, resuming. So resuming recording here. I had to stop the recording. See? So I resumed it. It's okay. I mean, this is a very common question. I understand that if you do not have experience, it's gonna be a problem. There were those few students who came to the college where I teach, and who did 6 or 7 courses. Before that, they never knew IT even, but they were so good in their subjects and topics and labs that they clearly said, "Hey, I don't have any experience in previous companies, but I can really deliver." And they were just being so honest that a few of them were hired just for their honesty, and because they were interviewed and they were really sharp. They had gone through labs extensively, so they were able to answer, hey, how this is installed, how that is installed, how VMware vCenter is installed. That's a beast application, right? So, but they've installed so many times, they were telling each and every step of that. Then they had troubleshooted in their labs, and they were purely honest. So they actually got the job because the recruiter will understand as well, and the main client will understand as well that yes, we can't expect a hero, Superman out of with 20 or 30 skills, although those are there as well. So, but if they find out that what you're saying is actually not true, you might not be hireable in many companies. They update their databases, and recruiters exchange their databases as well. So they might even send that to other recruiters as well. That okay, that was a fake one. So be careful of this guy. Well, wherever the recruiters have collaboration, there, that's where. But normally we know how it is in the market. So be good in your labs, very good in your topics clarification, and when they ask for implementation of that, you must have implemented so much that they should be impressed with that. And just be honest that I can deliver. Just give me a chance. Not always it works, but sometimes it works as well. It's just reality that if you don't have experience, some colleges actually let you do some work in contracts, or they let you handle their own environment, live environment, and that's your experience as well. So I can give you the names for those colleges that if you do courses with them, well, or you can just ask them, hey, I need to do some work with you so I could gain some experience, and I can tell you the names of those colleges if you separately ask. But yeah, there are some ways to add experience as well, but we did exactly we did, right? So, and Mama Jaffrey, please do contact me. I can give you some names there where you can actually try to go for experience, and they might, for some price, actually let you handle their live environment, and you can say that. So, but yes, this question is a very common question. I've been asked that millions of times, and we try our best to get your resume done. So yeah, when you're applying, just send me your resume as well. I can just tweak it according to whatever the job description is, right? So, and yeah, I have interview questions as well. So when you're going for a job, I will give you the interview questions that you can go through, and hopefully, you would be confident enough. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead. First of all, yes, Azure is in the market, and this is just page one, then two, then three, then four, then five. So GTA, there are so many jobs: level one, level two, level three, starting from 25 per hour, 20 per hour, up to 30, 40 per hour, 50 per hour, right? Uh, so Mohammed was saying, could you please resume recording? Oh, yeah, I already resumed. Yeah, it's already resumed. Yeah, it's going on. So guys, for the resume plus the interview skills, I have a video, 4-hour video of some interview tips as well. Let me know, and I will just send you that video. You can follow that. I gave that according to my experience, but one student actually got the job right after 1 month of that, and he said that whatever you said in the video, sir, exactly those questions came, and my interview was perfect. Well, he didn't have any experience. He had done 7 or 8 courses, and he got the job following that video for interview tips. So, well, that validated my video that, oh, okay, so somebody got benefited from that as well. All right, guys. So let's go ahead. Azure, yes, it's in the market. It's really in the market. But then, if I just start saying some more about it, oops, okay. So here, other than when we talk about career, so companies will have multiple so multiple cloud deployments, right? Multiple cloud deployments, and which means that I.E, so it will be AWS. They might have some of their workload on AWS and some of the workload on Azure, because they are both offering 200 plus different types of services, right? Storage service to upload files and folders, virtual machine services to create virtual machines and deploy applications on top of that, right? Container services, that's kind of new for many of us, but it's been there with developers for a long time. Containers, and then Kubernetes, that's another one that in this Azure 104, actually we're going to go with them. For Azure security course, we already tried it. You need to know containers. So suppose there are containers there. I'm going to be talking in detail about all the topics as well that are coming in the course, and then you can cross question here. But expect the companies to have multiple cloud deployments. They might have some of their virtual machines, which are called EC2 instances in AWS. So they might have some applications deployed in AWS. Some of the applications might be deployed in Azure. And now Google Cloud, which was a bit far in 2018, 2019, now in 2020, this Google Cloud Administrator certification is one of the top sought after certification nowadays, right? So that's very strange. And why, Google Cloud is a heaven for programmers, and especially when it comes to containerization and Kubernetes. So that's where Google Cloud is the pioneer, actually. So that's why we're going to go, when we go to Google Cloud, we're going to go for containers, how Google Cloud handled containers there. We're going to go for Azure, how Azure handled containers as well, right? So the thing is that you're going to see all that experience there. And so Google Cloud. Now, when we say companies will have multiple cloud, so the other thing we need to know is that if large companies, right, governments and organizations, so large companies, governments, and governments, etc., go for AWS, right? So because AWS is the pioneer of cloud, they are the most stable service, and they have the least amount of outage there. So governments trust AWS a lot. But as a backup, please mute your mics. So, but if you have a question, you're most welcome. And as a backup, we have Azure, right? Okay. Let me just mute all. Okay, so large companies, governments, etc., go for AWS, and as a backup, they have Azure Cloud, right? So other than that, small to medium size companies go for Azure as the main cloud, where they have their critical workload or critical applications, and Google Cloud, right? Which is also called GCP. So Google Cloud Platform, GCP. You're gonna see that it's different. So, okay, Chintan says in chat, how about banks in Canada? Are they moved to cloud? Well, a majority of them have. Well, none of the banks will go 100% to the cloud. None of them. They have huge data centers there, and although they're shrinking their data centers and lowering their cost a lot, but they will never move fully to the cloud. But yes, we can say some of the banks have gone 50% of their workload, or 75% for few banks have gone to the cloud. In 2022, 85% of the world companies will have moved their all workload to the cloud, or more than 70% of their workload to the cloud. So by 2022, so they are all moving towards cloud. So that's why this is the prime time to go for multiple cloud certifications. AWS solutions, so Amazon Solutions Architect Associate, and then Azure Administrator, Azure Architect, Azure Security, Azure. This would be good, but there are some others as well. And then Google Cloud Administrator, that is also crucial now. I'm going to be giving you many of the certification. What are the today's sort of certifications? But yes, majority of the banks have moved 25% to 50% of that their workload to the cloud, but not all, and they are slow in moving. Every bank has their own security measures, although they are standards as well outside, but some go slow, some go fast. So it's up to with the management of the bank, but yes, majority of them are moving towards it. Uh, and small to medium sized companies. So guys, any question regarding the topic is most welcome. Do not stay quiet. Your questions are very, very welcome, right? I love questions being answered. But do not ask about when is the vaccine being released for COVID-19. I have no idea. So it's about, should be about the topic as well, right? How about stocks? Seriously, yeah, there you go. Okay, so yeah, small to medium sized companies go for Azure, Google Cloud. So that's why you would see. That's what I would push you towards. Do the certification for AWS. Do the certification for Azure. Do the certification for Google Cloud, because in your resume, recruiters must see these certifications, and that's pretty attractive. Then they would go for your experience as well. Even if the experience is not that good, just you can send me the resume and I'll try to tweak it, quote unquote. That doesn't mean I'm faking it. Okay, I'll put it in a way that it would just truly reflect what you know. So then there is viewer says, viewer, are we given access to your OneNote? Oh, well, this I wish I had a college with wall bricks and walls, right? So normally Microsoft gives free of this Office 365 to colleges, so I have to pay government $70,000 just to have that started as a registered college. So but I'm just gonna copy everything here, and I'm gonna then put it in MS Word, and I'm gonna share it with you, right? So direct access to OneNote is not available. Sorry about that. And Yeah, let's go ahead, guys. And now some of the things that I want to talk about. The day one is always a career day, and you can also see what have you done till now, and what needs to be done in future. So yeah, okay, I'll just mute everyone. Right, mute. Okay.
So just we're gonna start the Azure administrator or architect.
Sorry again.
We're gonna start the Azure administrator or architect.
Yeah, we're gonna start administrator. The Azure administrator is in the combination of the courses, because that's the toughest one, and others you will be able to do then yourself as well, right? So those who have done administrator and they're given the exam, and then they went for Azure architect. So majority of the questions were a bit more easily done. Yes, and but some of the questions were very tricky for Azure Architect. So when you're actually going for Azure Architect, let me know. So I will send you some resources there for Azure Architect, right? Also, Chintan says here in the chat, are you teaching Azure Security? Yes, I'm teaching Azure Security. Well, it's about to finish this week, actually next week, in the other alternate days, but I'll be starting that again, Azure Security, with another combination of security courses. So okay, guys, and yeah, if you want the videos available, that's available in lower prices there. Otherwise, when you do live labs there, that's better. Okay, Zaki says in the chat, what are other courses? Yeah, so I was talking about what are the courses we should do that will get us some interview calls, because if interview calls are there, obviously then there are possibilities of a job. But if no interview calls are coming, that's then there's something wrong with your resume, right? So that will get us interview calls and possibly land a job. So we should just stick with the reality that are you getting, if you're hunting in the market, job hunting in the market, are you getting interview calls? If not, what is that you've put in your resume that is not attracting recruiters, right? So for that, then yeah, we need to especially talk. I'm just trying to create separately a job hunting resource area as well, that from where there you can get some tips about resume as well. Okay, so the some are must have. Which are must have courses today? Nowadays, okay. Nowadays, must-have courses. First of all, which are must-have courses? So first of all, it's I used to say MCSA 2016 you must do. It is still important in that context that many of the companies are still not moving towards cloud as we think they are. So they will many of the companies still have their own data centers. They still have their own physical servers, or they still have VMware hypervisors. and they still have Hyper-V hypervisors, and they still have virtual machines and their own environment, right? So on that environment, they will have Active Directory, they will have all the Windows and Linux already deployment would be there. So NCSA 2016 still is hot, but it's going to be expiring in January 2021. So till then, many students are still trying to do at least one of those, minimum one of the three certifications. If you're not going for all three certifications, which is the code would be 70-740, 70-741, 70-742. So at least go for anyone. Better all three, right? Better all three. So if this is done, so that's must have at least one of those. Then the second must have is Office 365 certifications, because even before the pandemic, even before the COVID-19, Office 365 was really expanding, and so many companies were asking for that. Recently, a student said that wherever I'm going, they're asking about Office 365. Now, we all know that the new name for this is Microsoft 365. That's first thing, Microsoft 365. Second thing is, it's not MS Office, it's not Word, Excel, PowerPoint. It is there, but Office 365 includes Exchange Online, Server Online, right? And SharePoint Online. These are having their own separate courses as well, right? But they are a combination of in Microsoft 365. That course just finished in alternate days. But I'll be launching that again with another combination of certifications. So Exchange Server Online, SharePoint Online, Teams Online, very very important. Microsoft is investing millions actually on Teams, that is for meetings and collaboration. So that's really really important. And then there is Azure Security, but Office 365 Security, that is as well. Other than that, there is active Azure AD, Azure Active Directory, right? uh, and Endpoint Manager, Endpoint Manager. There are many. They're adding so much there that really it's very hard to cover everything. But this is a must-have certification, right? So must-have. Although you can go for a combination of those if you want to go for few of those. So because email is the backbone of every company, they need to do their business, so you must do one of the Exchange certification. And then meetings and collaboration, this is Teams Online, when you're doing projects, so this is really important. SharePoint, you should have at least experience of that. Azure Active Directory, there's no separate certification for that, but Microsoft 365 goes for MS 100 and 101. That is all about Azure Active Directory, right? So those certifications are also really must have. There's a Chintan is asking in the chat, if we know Exchange 2013 still required Exchange Server Online. So Chintan, if you know good Exchange 2013, that's exactly the same thing in online Exchange as well. So, but make sure that what else is in Exchange Online, you must know that. Go through, create a free account for Office 365 for 30 days, and then go through the Exchange admin console, and try to explore what's new, and you should be good. If you know Exchange already, then you're good. So then the third most must-have certification is VMware. Now VMware VCP 6.5, actually 6.7, 7.0 is also released, but VMware 6.5, 6.7, so many students who did Cloud 4-in-1 course last year, one of those students, not so many, one of those students who was giving interviews after doing cloud courses and certifications, he was being asked a lot about VMware as well. Why? Because, I'm going to explain that in the diagram as well, that suppose there's a company here, and that is Toronto. So it's a Toronto branch, and they have, you will see majority of the companies will have physical servers like IBM or HP or Dell. And those Dell servers, suppose it's Dell servers, right? Physical servers, they will have on top of it either a VMware ESXi hypervisor. Many of you know that hypervisor. So it's really crucial to understand how hypervisors really work. Or Hyper-V hypervisor, right? Hyper-V, which is Microsoft. Microsoft hypervisors. So if so it's not if, it will be there. On top of those, they will have their virtual machines. And in this Azure course, the good thing is that we're going to deploy a Hyper-V hypervisor. We're going to deploy a virtual machine there. But what I'm just going to show you a scenario now is that in the companies, they will ask that, hey, our virtual machines are about to be migrated there, or maybe half of them are migrated, half of them are still need to be migrated. Some companies are actually migrating the virtual machines from here to Azure Cloud or AWS Cloud, and then they are asking, hey, can you migrate them back as well? Because that machine, suppose that virtual machine had SQL Server inside, right? SQL Server is a big application, and you migrated there, and they didn't realize the cost at that time. So but then they realized, okay, let us just optimize it for cloud, and then we're going to deploy it again. Can you just migrate it back? So can you migrate the machine from here to Azure, and then can you migrate back as well? So there's a lab that we will have here, and that is failover or failover clustering is a technology by Microsoft. But we're going to create a failover partner VMs, partner VMs. Okay, so yeah, my youngest kid was there. Okay, so failover partner VM. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a Hyper-V environment here, just like you will see in the companies, and then we're gonna create an active virtual machine here with or without an operating system, doesn't matter. And then then we're gonna create its passive machine here, passive machine here, passive or standby, right? So that active and passive machine, what will they do? Obviously, it will be the synchronization that will be going on there by those virtual machines. So synchronization, obviously, in that case, it would be asynchronous replication, synchronization or replication will be going on. So we're going to actually create that, so you could say that in the resume as well, that or in the interviews, that I know how to create an active passive partner. And yes, we're going to fail over. So this is active and this is passive. End users connect to active, and suppose active goes down, right? What will happen? It should fail over to passive right away, and all the end user connections then be redirected to this virtual machine as well. So that's what we're going to do as well. But this is our requirement. This is a reality outside right now. They have hybrid environment out there. So in that case, there are two hybrid labs, two or three hybrid labs there in Azure as well, for just these scenarios. So you should know that VMware or Hyper-V hypervisor. If you know VMware in depth, you're going to be really good, because 80% of the companies' data centers have VMware. So VMware VCP 6.7 certification is a must-have. And the only thing is that this certification you must do it from Partner Academy, VMware Partner Academy. So I know many colleges, and NetPlus is one of those, which is also a partner college, and the cheapest in the GTA, which offers this certification. You have to do the course with VMware Partner Academy or college, and then they will give you a voucher. That voucher only you can give the exam. So Chintan says there in the chat, hybrid. So it's called as hybrid. So yeah, this is a hybrid environment overall. So hybrid environment, which means that you have not only on-premises virtual machines here, but you also have cloud machines here as well, right? Cloud environment as well. So you have on-premises environment where your customers' applications are inside virtual machines, and you have some virtual machines in the cloud, and the applications are there as well. And they are in two ways. There is a IaaS, and then there is a SaaS, right? So there's a IaaS, and then there is a SaaS. So there are two ways they will have applications there. Since we're talking about that, so we'll quickly just cover that track, because you're right now what you're doing is you're doing this IaaS, right? So what is IaaS? Infrastructure as a service. In one interview, they actually asked me this as well, and I was saying, hey, it's a level 3 job, and you're asking, well, I was thinking, I didn't say that. Infrastructure as a service. So structure as a service, right? So infrastructure as a service means that we can create virtual machines, storage, networks, subnets in the networks, and route tables in the networks. So there's a whole data center is available for us virtually on somebody else's data center. So that is Microsoft. Azure is Microsoft's data center. AWS is Amazon Web Services is Amazon's data center. So we can create virtual machine storage networks, subnets, route tables, databases there, and etc. So that is infrastructure as a service. While SaaS is software as a service, software as a service. SaaS is also a very respectful word among Southeast Asian community. SaaS is also called mother-in-law, so that's very respectful, right? So, but here that's not that SaaS. This is software as a service. If I go there to IaaS, so what are the examples of that? For example, now there is AWS, Amazon Web Services is an example of IaaS, and then Azure is an example, and GCP, Google Cloud Services, Google Cloud Platform is an example, and any of the Alibaba Cloud, IBM Cloud, and Oracle Cloud. So there are IaaS where you can just create your own resources. But software as a service, the example, first of all, a software, an enterprise grade application, enterprise grade application is already deployed on the vendor side, vendor's data center, and we just have to log in and start customizing it for our companies, right? Company requirements for our company requirements. So this means that you just need to tweak it. It's already there. You don't have to worry about the virtual machines, underlying processor, underlying storage. You just have to start using that. So the good example for that would be Office, Microsoft 365, which is previously known as Office 65. There is G Suite there. I would recommend that you must have certifications and some experience on Microsoft 365 and G Suite, as it is especially Microsoft 365, but many companies are going for cheaper solution and alternative to Microsoft or Office 365. This is G Suite from Google, right? So you must have that certification, but that is SaaS-based software. Salespro.com, and many of the applications are already on there on the internet. So that's SaaS-based. You don't have to worry about underlying hardware and operating system anywhere, right? But here you have to worry about underlying hardware, operating system, everything, right? So we're doing this Azure now. So you must know, do some of the certifications of IaaS. You must do some of the certifications from on the SaaS side as well. That covers your cloud track, right? And then obviously the third type is well, it's not cloud, but on premises. If on premises, the certification that I've already said is VCP, and then the operating systems that you must know are Windows operating systems. And guys, don't run away from Linux. I am one of those who have been running for quite some time. I've been running away from Linux. Windows is everything. No, Linux is also reality in cloud. So you must go in depth with Linux, right? Janet says, how about Exchange also SaaS? Yes. So Exchange is a part of the Microsoft 365 suite. So in that, SharePoint Online, Exchange Online, Active Directory Online, Teams Online, they're all SaaS, exactly, right? So okay, if we go back here, so this is a must-have certification as well that you should have. And then there is the operating system. So MCSA, either you should know Windows operating system really good. It's kind of, I used to say, or Linux, but now I have to say Windows and Linux. If you want to be an expert in the cloud, there will be operating systems there, right? So companies might go for lesser or cheaper deployment. Linux takes 8 GB of disk space for its deployment, overall deployment, while Windows machine takes 30 GB space. So where 8 GB and where's 30 GB? Suppose your boss says that, hey, can you deploy 200 virtual machines in the cloud? 200, right? So, but then you ask which one? So the boss says whichever is the cheaper one. So obviously, suppose you're a Windows expert and you know that Linux based machines are cheaper than Windows based machines, right? Depends on whatever application you want to put. If that application can be installed on Linux, boss will go for Linux. Otherwise, suppose it's Microsoft SQL Server, you cannot install Microsoft SQL Server on Linux. So you have to go for Oracle SQL Server to deploy on Linux, right? So that's why wherever Windows is required, yes, but wherever Linux is required, you need to be ready for that. Okay, Chintan says there, how about SCCM also important? Guys, SCCM is still being asked in the market. In fact, I just forwarded that job for SCCM in my job group, and they were looking for SCCM experts. So, what is SCCM? It is Systems Center Configuration Manager, right? System Center Configuration Manager. You can configure thousands of machines, tablets, cell phones with one server. You can deploy any application there. You can make changes to thousands of operating systems and applications there. You can upgrade thousands of your tablets and cell phones and laptops and desktops from SCCM. So it's very powerful. If you are 2012 R2 expert, that's okay. That courses are still available for now. It's just $25. The price will increase. Let me know. So the thing is that you should know SCCM on premises. This is good to have, which means that if you have done must-haves, then you go for good to have courses as well. That's only going to raise your resume or among recruiters as most sought after, right? The more critical courses you do. Citrix, you may have heard about that. Citrix is also good to have. It's application virtualization. So once you have done must-haves, then you go for good to have. So operating systems you have to be an expert in, right? We did in last class AWS site-to-site VPN, right? So that site-to-site VPN we resorted to Linux machines, right? So wherever you're stuck with Linux, you can't tell the boss, hey boss, let me learn that after 2 or 3 months I will be able to deploy your Linux, and then the boss says, okay, 2 or 3 months you go ahead and do the Linux course and come back, while I will just hire someone else in that knows already Linux and how to deploy in cloud. So it's just I'm pushing towards that. First of all, you need to know the cloud inside out, and then you can just do self-paced Linux training of your and Windows if you don't know that. So good to have is this as well, and this is also good to have here. If I go for this, yeah. And then again, let's go Horizon and VM. So Chetan says Horizon. Yes, that is alternate to Citrix. Citrix is a top in application virtualization, but VMware Horizon's software is also really good alternative to that. So VMware Horizon. If you know any of those, the best is Citrix. Otherwise, VMware Horizon is also very good. So guys, then there's that must have courses that are so Microsoft side of courses that we're talking about in cloud. So this is what we're doing as well. So in cloud, it will be Microsoft Azure, administrator, and that is AZ104, right? This is what we're doing, and this is one of the most important ones, and that covers a lot of topics of other courses as well. In some it's 25%, in some it is 50%, in some it is 75%. So then Azure Architect, after AZ104, go for Azure Architect, AZ300, and then there is Azure Security, and that is AZ-500. So these are must-have courses. So nowadays these are really required. Then in AWS, minimum, you should go for Amazon AWS Solutions Architect Associate, Solutions Architect Associate, uh, and that would be the start of it. And then you can go for AWS Security Specialty course called Security, right? AWS Security course as well. If you're into networking, suppose you've done CCNA, CCNP, and CCI. So Mohammad Awad says Hyper-V. Yes, Mohammad Awad, Hyper-V is included in MCSA 2016. In fact, this one certification is the most important one here that talks in depth about Hyper-V. I have offered this course free on my LMS. I would really recommend that you do every lab of this course in LMS. Do every lab of this course. It's a must-do lab, right? Okay. And Nas says, what about AWS Professional? Yes, AWS Security Solutions Architect, AWS Professional is also important. After that, students are going for that. But many students are finding this one tough already, Solutions Architect. But definitely AWS Professional would be another one that you should go for. Better after associate. Now we're in GTA market, right? So anyone connected from outside of Canada here? No, right? So in if you go for North America market, right, and go for job openings there, so majority of the jobs are saying, hey, if you're AWS Solutions Architect Associates, it's good enough. But are you AZ104? Are you an administrator of Azure? Are you an architect of Azure? And do you know security? These three are really critical in our North America market, especially in GTA. But many of the jobs they are asking for more of Azure, and at least this is also really tough, right? We just went through that, so this is tough. AWS Solutions Architect Associate. So if you go for professional, yes, very very good. But better after solutions architect, better go for security of this because if you know the cloud certifications, the most important thing after that is do you know how to secure them, right? So if at least either do one of the security courses, either go for Azure security because one of the security, the word security should be on your resume. So either Azure security or AWS security. Anyone do that, but then they will know that okay, you know that how security is so critical for every company when they push their resources to the cloud, right? So then Chintan says, of course, it's for you as you already passed one exam. Yeah, so Naz is the first student here who has passed the Solutions Architect Associate. So if I was in the class, I would have asked everyone to clap for her. So it's like, okay, I think I did it for everyone. So okay, and so that's congratulations from all to you, Naz. She did the Solutions Architect. So
Good job, Nas.
good enough. Yes. So that's very good. So we should all congratulate her. And okay, and there are many others who are preparing for AWS. And guys, it's so important. You must break the bubble. Naz has broken that bubble, and she is the first one in this class. So there should be others following her and do the certification as soon as possible, right? Solutions Architect Associate, not practitioner. Oh, Cloud Practitioner. Yes, Wakas, practitioner is all all of a sudden it's really important now. Practitioner is the just the start of the AWS. Many of the students are finding it these courses very tough, right? Azure Administrator, AZ104, and it's not that tough, but this one, AWS Solutions Architect, because AWS knows how students are passing the exam. Well, we have to agree with that. Hey, there are dumps there, right? There are questions already there. Some of the questions come from the dumps in the exam and they pass. So AWS keeps changing their question really fast. So that's why it's a bit tougher to give AWS solutions architect. If you got lucky, maybe all the questions will come from the dump. Majority of the time, they will not come from the dump, and you have to think about it. You have to understand the concepts, and hopefully you've understood all the labs and done the labs. So it takes a lot of preparation to do that, right? So that's why I'm saying that try to really give your 100% now and enjoy the rest of your life later. But right now, be prepared to give your 100%. Okay. Then there's a question there. So practitioner, yes, if you go for practitioner and then solutions architect, it's better. Practitioner exams are much, it's for beginners of cloud, so that's good. That's an extra thing that you should do. But this is our intention. That's the main objective, to give the solutions architect and administrator exam, right? So these are, I'll just put it on red, because we can say that these are the hard ones, and you must first do them and then think of anything else, right? And so can you check the screenshot on WhatsApp, please? Oh, okay. So Vikas has shared a screenshot here that I'm gonna put it here. So yes, there's a specialty tier there: advanced networking, big data, security, machine learning, professional tier, associate tier, practitioner tier. So that's for AWS you're talking about, or Azure? Because I'm gonna go for Azure as well. Or overall, mm, the cloud normally is, so based on these tiers. So always there's a practitioner, is the beginner, associate, a bit tough, but you should be able to do that if you want to get recruiters' attention. And then professional is really tough, and then specialty, you want to be a specialist in some. Well, it seems like it's not AWS. It's overall, we can say. Okay, so yes, exactly as you said, as you showed this, Avakas, exactly. You should go this way. If you're gonna go for practitioner, at least as long as you're not done with the solutions architect associate level or architect level, then at least do the practitioner to tell recruiters, hey, I know cloud, come on, hire me, right? So, or if you're going for a better job. So here, that's one thing. So these are must-have exams. The red ones you must do ASAP. Now in 2020, Google Cloud is also there, right? So guys, before that I used to say, it's okay. Now it's, if you can do it, it's a very good thing. Your resume will be more attractive, because normally Google Cloud is for programmers, but administrators need to know that too. So we're gonna go through that, and we're gonna check that what's the difference, how things work there, right? So Usman says there, how can we enjoy rest of our life if market have updates of all courses all the time? So enjoy the rest of your life means that you get to have a level 2, level 3 job. And enjoy actually means that we have a job right now. That's called enjoy as well, although that's tough itself as well. But they keep on upgrading, and then yes, you have to study all your life until you're 75. You have to keep on studying. That's IT. Good luck. Oh, okay. So
So
here, yeah,
every year we have to upgrade these certifications, or it's just a one-time?
IT is never one time. So we have to keep on upgrading every 2 years. Good luck.
No, used to like MCSA or these kind of courses. Like if you don't need to upgrade, like after 3-4 years, you if you want you can do it. But how about in cloud?
Yeah. So even about MCSA, right? So suppose we have done MCSA 2008. Suppose. So normally we have to push ourselves to do certifications when the technology changes. So if the technology changes, suppose it to 2012 is everywhere now, or 2019 Windows is everywhere now, and if we are still MCS 2008, and the other guy who is also applying for a job is 2019 or 2016 certified, so they will prefer that person, right? So that's why everyone then goes for the latest certification. Oh, Mohammad Awaz has MCSA NT 4.0. That's like 2000 and 2001, 2002. Wow. Hey, I installed NT as well. That was so cool. Anyway, so Chintan says, once you get job in good company, and company will pay for all upgrades and enjoy. Okay, that's how we enjoy. Thank you for that. Okay, so the company pays for if you pass the exam, right? So there's the enjoyment. And but keeping the job at 25, 35 per hour is kind of enjoy as well. Um, Not on contract. Yeah, contracts finish fast, but permanent full-time job. Otherwise, contractors are earning more. They have, their lifestyle tells us that, better go for contracting. But anyway, so guys, this is how.
Just question, sir.
Yeah, you say.
Yeah. So yeah, now just your advice of to study this courses. But the question, where we can
Oh,
study and how long will it take?
how long
Yeah, all the courses.
Well, yeah. So there is no. Okay, I'm just gonna mute you because there's a lot of echo there. And okay, how long does it take? Oh, okay. Mohammed Awad, there's a lot of echo coming here. Um, it's let me just yeah. So here, how long does it take? Yes, guys, for glory there is no shortcut. Da-da-da. So, well, it's there is no shortcut to anything. It takes what it takes to do those courses and understand. Now, some students did those all courses in 7 months, 8 months. Some did it very good with hard working in 1.5 year. And then those who joined, I've seen some impossible stories there as well. One student joined at the start and he actually had no idea about IT, and he that was not his field at all, and he was changing the fields, and the way he was slow. So I thought while he was doing the first few courses, I was thinking, oh man, he's never gonna get a job. But he gave like 8 hours, 6 hours daily to repeat all the labs, and his work was amazing. His hard work was amazing. His repetition was amazing. And after I think 8 months or 9 months or 1 year, now he's a contractor. And I thought it was impossible for that kind of person to get a contracting job, but now he's a contractor there, and he just dismissed all the impossible, what everyone was saying about him. So it's all about really hard work, understand the topics, repeat, repeat, repeat again, and give it 8 hours, 10 hours to do all the labs again and again. And yes, well, the shortest time I saw was if you really work hard with all the labs and you're good, then it's 8 or 9 months up to 1.5 year that you should be landing a good job. But well, yeah, the reality is there's no shortcut. I wish I could say that, hey, just do Azure Administrator and then you will get a good job. I wish, but it's not the reality, right? So we keep working hard. The thing is, I just want you to repeat, everyone to repeat the labs 2 or 3 times every lab that we do, and really understand all the. But it's always a combination of skills there. So, guys, security name should be on your resume. Either you do Azure security or you do AWS security, or if you're going for just security topics there, so CISSP, certified ethical hacker, that's one of the coolest ones. Even your boss will be scared from you. But maybe your boss is scared and he or she might not even hire you. So yeah, be careful when you do CEH or certified ethical hacker. But CISP and all the etc. all of the security certifications are one of them is must, or just go for Azure security, AWS security are good enough, right? Um, let's go ahead, guys. So this is some of the must-have certifications there that if you don't have, then think of doing this. Also, one more thing, if you want to stay in the field of IT, get a good hardware first. If you want to survive in the field of IT, get a good hardware first. If you have i7 quad core processor, i7 quad core processor, and 32 GB RAM and 500 GB SSD drive. So this is the best one. Otherwise, 16 GB minimum RAM you should have, because there are some labs coming where at least you should have 16 GB RAM in your laptop or desktop to do that lab, to even start doing that lab, right? Mohammed Abbas says CISSP need experience to get the exam. Yes, CISSP is not that easy. They really need your experience first, and then they will even let you give the exam. CEH and other security certs. That's why better go for, in security, this would be the hardest one. Azure Security AZ500. This will be the hardest because Azure related certifications are gaining more momentum and skills in GTA, Greater Toronto area, and in North American market as well. So, and if
So
you
if you
do
have a CISSP, then does it require Azure security? Or is this good enough?
CISSP
CISSP.
is good enough to show the recruiters that you are secure, really cautious, and you're security sensitive. So any one security CSP is better for managerial level when you're really designing security. But when it comes to nits and grits and hardware, technical details, there you go. Then you need to go for AWS or Azure security, vendor-based security. But this is vendorless,
Yeah.
or it's not just one vendor. It's on design level, so that's it better. if you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And NAS says their CEH fee is $1,100. Yes, from that vendor. Who's doing that? CEH is from ISC2. They are doing that certification. And yes, if you go for CEH, that's I think it's not 1100. It's much more than that. ISC2 are offering that official one. Otherwise, different colleges are also offering. I'm still preparing that CEH labs. I'm just testing. When it's fully available, then I will launch that course. But anyway, Mohammad Awaz says then cybersecurity analyst also required. Guys, there is then latest trend. Let me know. So yeah, if you need a good hardware, I know a guy who can give who have sold that used refurbished laptops, powerful laptops to many of my students, and they have done many very tough labs there. So let me know about that if you need. Otherwise, go to Kijiji and do your research. Okay, guys. One more thing. The latest trend now, DevOps and security. After you know what I've written above, the latest trend is automation, right? DevOps slash automation and security is the latest trend, right? After you know what is above, then I will just put that latest trend in the market. Then on top of this, you want to put some toppings there to make your resume even more spicy, so or attractive or tasty. Um, well, resume, yeah. So then DevOps, and then even in DevOps, there's another one. DevSecOps have arrived now. DevSecOps. So DevOps is also already automation, but then development security operations. That's DevSecOps, right? So this is also another development. So this means then you need to go for automation, and you need to really follow that. In that, the famous ones are Terraform. Terraform certification is now really hot because it's infrastructure as a code, and you just use a code to create hundreds of machines and storages and databases, and so Terraform is one of those uh, you know main certifications there that goes for automation, infrastructure as a code, right? Okay, so then there is Fazil says in the chat, how about PMP combined with these courses? Yes, PMP is project management professional. Wow. If you have this and then you have some technical skills as well, that's always a very good combination. Those who are PMP or who plan to do PMP, go for it. It's really important because in the project, you will always have this project to do. Suppose there's many branches for your clients that are deploying these resources. So project management background would get you even a better place in the company. So Tariq says, my friend passed CISM exam and is still waiting to find out if his experience will be accepted or not. Well, different companies, Tariq, have different priorities, but security certification of any type is always good with a combination of other courses. So it depends on what other skills he has, and if the companies really require those combination of skills, right? So we are targeting those skills which are in majority of the job announcements that I see in Indeed.com. So that's why it depends on what are the combination of skills there. So CISM or CISSP or CH, but what other certifications are there as well? And do the company also need that or not? Okay, and then there is a comment there. Just a reminder, Google Cloud Cert. You were going to talk about, yeah. So guys, here Google Cloud Cert. So about Google Cloud, although this course is upcoming, but this certification is also really important now. So Google Cloud Administrator will be the certification that you should go for, and this is talking more about its programmer heaven, but we're going to talk about its compute, which is virtual machines as well as containers, and Kubernetes there as well, which is containerization. We're going to go in depth and we're going to check it out, and then compute storage, how Google does that. But that same thing we're going to learn in Azure as well, and in AWS we learned. So compute storage, networking, and databases, and then containers, and this word I'm saying again and again, Kubernetes. This is about if you want to deploy hundreds of containers, then Kubernetes is there. So we need to know what exactly it is. So Google Cloud certification nowadays is really going up because you can deploy applications on containers on very large scale, right? Okay, so we've talked about that, and many interesting comments come in the chat as well. So this is very important. So guys, that's why our aim is that we need to go in depth with what is really required in the market nowadays. And the proof is you go to recruiter sites there, Indeed.com or Monster.ca or Glassdoor.ca, TorontoJobShop.com. There's so many there. When you type Azure, these are the most jobs available are asking for this skill, for these skills, and Microsoft 365 would be another hot one that I would really want you to do, and that is with Exchange Server Online, SharePoint Online, Teams Online. We just are about to finish that course in alternate days, and it will be launching again. And VMware, so the next hot one. Wherever I'm doing it red, this are these in your resume or not? If not, they must be in your resume before you go anywhere else, right? So these red ones are well, the ones that you should be going for, and then after that, the rest you can just plan yourself, right? So yes, Mohammad, the Office 65 has just finished in Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'll be starting that again. Normally I do this stunt of offering 4 courses in one, 5 courses in one, and then we go in depth with that as well. I try to go in depth at least. Lots of labs. So Office 5 will be again starting with Exchange Server, SharePoint, Teams Online, Azure Active Directory. This time I might add Endpoint Manager. So this alone is 5 courses, but then I also added this 500 as well, Azure Security. So we're covering that finally. So this will be launching again, and if anyone interesting, if there are 5 or 10 students, yeah, we can launch faster even. Okay, guys. So this is all about career talk. Finally, what I would say is that sure, we'll let you know. So finally, I would say that be prepared to give your 100% now, 100% effort. If you are a hardworking now and you give 8 hours, 2 hours daily, 4 hours daily, 5 hours daily, but do all the labs again and again and again, and then if you get a good job, you will enjoy the rest of your life, right? But if you're not working hard now, you are too busy. Everyone is busy actually, but if you're too busy to do all the labs, then later, it will be not when you really need those skills. Then you will start learning them, right? While the opportunities will fly by you. And second thing is the best time to do these certifications is when you have a job, right? So that's the second thing. The best time to do all these courses and certifications. Now, when you have a job, never think that, hey, I have a job, I don't need all these. Many of the guys who lost the jobs, then they started doing certifications, and then they have to pay for the courses as well. It's not that easy. So when you are getting paid from the job, now is the time to do the certifications, and not when you. Hopefully, nobody has to see that, but we never know the market, right? So now is the time to really give your 100% effort, and then the more skills you have, the better job opportunities you will grab, right? So what my suggestion is, repeat the labs. So yeah, understand all the concept that we're talking about. Then repetition is the golden word here, right? Repeat the labs minimum 2 times at home, right? And then do certifications ASAP. Do not delay it. Hundreds of students have told me by now, sir, when you were saying do the certification, I must have done at that time. I delayed, I slacked, and now there's so many job opportunities that in some they were saying you're good in interview, but our HR, human resource department, needs certified people, and they hired someone else who was lesser in experience from that student, but he or she had the certifications. That was the difference. So it makes that much different. So don't delay now. AWS certifications, you must do it. So guys, best thing is make a deadline. So those who are preparing for AWS, please do that. Deadline is this is 21, so 21 September. Before that, you must do AWS solutions architect. So best thing to do is that you know get purchase the schedule right away. Purchase the exam schedule, like that day I'm gonna with a testing center today now, and you can take even 1 month, right? 1 month is good enough too. Then first put the money there, you will prepare, right? If you put the money there, you will prepare. So make yourself prepare the certifications, right? And otherwise you will delay it and 1 year will pass and you will have no certifications or very few, right? So put the money there, you will prepare. Hey, that, that rhymes, right? Okay, anyway, so the thing is, this is the way I made myself do the certification. Otherwise I was delaying. Then first I purchased a certification while I had no idea about that certification. First I purchased it, I gave myself 1 month, then I gathered resources in 1 month, then I prepared and then I gave all the exams. So and then I kept on giving. For in 1 year I gave like 8 or 9 exams, and then second year 5 or 6 exams. So you just get that timing, contact the data center or exam center and get the timing today for 1 month from now, right? This is the way to give certifications. Otherwise forget it that you will give, unless you are a very disciplined one. Unless I'm not, I do it this way. Okay, so guys, let's go ahead. We have talked enough about career talk, done a career talk. I'm just going to be giving this I'm going to be putting all this on MS Word, and I'm gonna be uploading this on the LMS here. So and your LMS is this, where I'm just uploading everything. This one, and I'll be adding those who have just joined this Azure course. So this is AWS, Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud. In this, there are so many previous videos there as well, and the resources are there. Also, one more thing, guys, you must all go to AWS, Azure, GCP exam prep resources, sample questions exam, and this is where I'm regularly updating all the exam resources. I will add for Azure as well the topics that you must read, and you must go for it, right? So this is here, and it's free right now. Later it will be, I'll put some price, but right now it's free. So just get registered to this, enroll to this AWS, Azure, GCP exam prep. Once you go inside, so you will just go for enroll for free here, and then continue to course, and this is how it looks like. So you must go through all the AWS topics there to give the exam. There's IT exam voucher. Get registered to that. You will get yes, this link. Yeah, this is actually here in the LMS. If you haven't become, please create a free account here in LMS here, and then get registered to all the free courses. I've put that in the chat already. So please create a free account. So guys, there's an IT exam voucher here. This site is, many of the students have purchased vouchers in half price from this site. If you know any other voucher site, let us know as well. Let me know. I'll just add it to this resource so everyone would be benefiting from that. And for AWS exam readiness, go through this as well. But you must know all these topics and white papers there as well. And one more thing, guys, there is one more thing that I've added here. I really have to work hard for this. Azure 104, I'm going to be putting a lot of exams. So exam files are already there for Azure. You can go for the questions. AWS practice test question quiz style. So this is also very important. This is, I just added yesterday. So if I go inside, and then there is that form. So I created that environment or quiz kind of environment here. So you should go through that. I'll be adding more latest questions there. So this is all exam questions for AWS. So question 12 is on 2, seriously. Okay, so but it is so it's, suppose you go for this and you go for this. Suppose these are all the questions and these are latest questions, and I've put some of those here, and I'm putting regularly manually actually there, so that's a lot of effort. But ultimately you will reap the reward of that. Why did I put those questions when there are PDF files there? The reason is, if I go way down here, the reason is if I click submit here, so then it is discussing wherever the answer is wrong. Oh, okay. When I submit that, then I have to. Did I not submit? Oh, okay. It's saying that give the answer first. Seriously. Okay, I'll give the answer. So, guys, it discusses all the answers there. That's the main reason that I'm putting here. You must clearly know what's going on here, and I will have to edit it some more. But I'm adding all the latest questions there, so you would pass as well. So when I submit there, so view score. When I click the view score, you will see that it's discussing why the correct answer is correct and why wrong answer is wrong. So see this, Amazon EKS is incorrect, or because this is this, EBS is incorrect because this is this. So you have to go through and check that what is correct answer and why, and what is wrong answer and why, right? No, it's a different PDF. It's not the, well, it's not from that source, Mohammad Awad. It's from different sources. I'm grabbing those questions. In fact, I'm a paid member of some other sites as well, and from there, where they have discussed everything, and then I'm gathering those questions here. So if you don't understand the topic and you don't know why correct is correct and wrong is wrong, what is the reason for that? This is all the discussion here. So you must go through all these questions. Right now there are 20. They will be, I'll go up to 200 questions or 300 or 400. But it will be with discussions here, right? So that's why it's really important to go through all these questions. Okay, Mohammed Jafri says, it says I need permission to access these questions. Oh, okay. So can you forward that email, and I will just give you, I will add, you just try to click that link, and then I will add you to that. Hopefully, I get that email as well, asking me to enroll. This is free, Zaki, so you can enroll free there. It's But if it asks permission, maybe I will get an email. So I will just keep on giving permissions to that. So I just wanted to show all that you have all the material to really work hard. Are you really working hard? So just be ready to give your 200% now, and well, again and again I'm saying, enjoy the rest of your life, as many of the students, some of the students actually are enjoying right now. Before, they just really worked hard. That's the only difference. They really worked hard, 8 hours daily, 10 hours daily. But so many examples are there. Okay, guys, so whatever the problems with that is, I'll just put on the WhatsApp group, and I will just try to resolve this. But try to go through those questions and give a deadline to yourself. Everyone must be certified. In fact, I'm giving you a deadline. Everyone, AWS must be certified before 21st September, right? Everyone who has done AWS must be certified before 21. You got 1 month from now, and you must do it, right? Naz has she has really worked hard, and she gave you a good head start that it's not impossible. So I'm going to be following up with you all that who are preparing. Have you given the exam before this date or not, right? So we're going to work together. We're going to make sure everyone passes, right? Okay, guys. Make a group and try to discuss. Make some audio meetings there, and try to discuss questions there, and try to draw some diagrams there. Try to do the labs together. But you must finish all this exam. You must all be certified before 21st September. This is your deadline from now on, right? Okay, guys. Let's go ahead, and now we're going to talk about Azure here, and what we're starting after this career day talk. And Okay, so deadline is, I'm just gonna put it on WhatsApp as well. Okay, so thank you, Mohammed Zahir Jafri. Yeah, so you have put that in WhatsApp group. Some of the students are not added to our class WhatsApp group. I'm going to be adding you guys to the class WhatsApp group there. And okay, I've put the deadline in this as well in WhatsApp, and in the AWS preparation group as well. I will put that deadline, and you must be all certified before that, right? All right, guys, let's go ahead and now we're going to talk about Azure. But yes, Google Form. Thank you, Zahir. So I will be doing that or looking at this after the class or in the break. But thank you for letting me know, and please follow up with that. Okay, guys, let's go ahead. And now Azure. So we understand now it's really, really important to go in depth and understand all the topics of Azure. And then those who have done this, you must do that before 21st September. Get that money, give that money of the certification to the exam center today or tomorrow, right? This will show that, oh man, you're serious. Okay, let's go ahead, guys. And I'm saying that for the fifth time now. So Azure Administrator, and what are the topics inside, and how are we starting, and how in depth is it? What are the labs there? So there will be long labs coming your way now, and the more complicated scenarios you understand, the more value your market value will increase, because you know more tougher, complicated topics. If you know the easy stuff, well, everyone else also does know that too. So Azure AZ104, what are we covering there? So I'm just going to go for that link. AZ104. So this is the skills being measured page. I'm just going to click that. Please open that in your computer. I'm just putting in the chat now. Please open that on your side as well. So this is certifications exam AZ104. This is for pretty much every exam of Microsoft. They create a page for that. And the first of all, if you go down here, so that's $165. Now there are vouchers, as I gave that link there already, IT exam vouchers, or there are some students here who can give even other links as well. But this is IT exam voucher in LMS. This is itexamvouchers.com. So you can get membership. Just create a free account there, and whenever you get they normally sell vouchers that have very less dates, right? Like within 3 days you have to purchase that voucher and give the exam. But it is, instead of 165, it would be either 80, 90, even $65 only. So you save half, 50% discount, sometimes 20%, sometimes 40% discount. So for vouchers you can go there, or you can also share other resources of your own if you know any other voucher sites. Okay, guys, then Vikas says also, if anyone Canadian university or college email ID can get 85 to 95 US dollars. Oh, that's very good. So if guys you are from Seneca College, you have the Seneca College email, or your U of T email, or George Brown email, any of the colleges, registered colleges, then you get 50% discount nearly, or 40% discount, right? So that's very good. Thank you, Vikas, for sharing that. So okay, Chintan says, if anyone know price drop, please update in WhatsApp. Yes. So anyone has a voucher, cheap voucher link somewhere, just share at that time on that as well. Okay, guys. So what are we going to do in AZ104? What is it all about? So it is all about how to use Microsoft's data centers across the planet, right? So you remotely connect to their data centers, or cloud is their data centers, and then you create virtual machines there. Those who have gone through AWS already would know now the difference, and you should be very sharp in what is the alternate of AWS in Azure, in what services, right? In storage, what is it called in AWS? What is it called in Azure? In virtual compute, virtual machines, what is it called in Azure? What is it called in AWS? Networking, what is it called in Azure? Because concepts are pretty much same in Azure and in AWS. It's just that what is it called, what service is called what, and how it is configured in both AWS. So suppose you create a virtual machine, it is called EC2 instance in AWS, it is called virtual machine in Azure, and it is called compute engine in Google Cloud. But these three are all virtual machines, right? but you need to know what is the terminology and how to do it. There are some differences, obviously, so you should be well versed in those differences, and and prepare your notes for the interview. Always think of that, how would I say that in the interview. So we're going to prepare throughout for the interview throughout the course as well, right? uh, so just try to create the account. If you're unable to log in, so try to go for forgot password, or in the break I will try to fix that for you. But try to just go inside the IT Prof courses, right? So create that free account there. Right, guys, as I was talking about, there's skill being measured. So this is where we should be. Download exam skills outline, and it says here manage Azure identities and governance. 15 to 20% questions will come for that, because you must give certification ASAP, right? Implement and manage storage. 10 to 15% questions will come from there. Deploy and manage Azure compute resources. Compute resource just means virtual machines, CPU, memory, hard disk, bandwidth, networking. So 20 to 25% questions come from compute resources, virtual machine and its features. Configure and manage virtual networking. 30 to 35 questions. So you can see that how important in this certification the networking topics are. So 30 to 35% will come from networking. So we're going to create many networks there, many types of networking there. We're going to understand those topics. Monitor and backup Azure resources. So that is 10 to 15%. So this is a document here. Download exam skills. Let's go ahead and download that. So there's that AZ104 exam skills. So this is the link for that. So I'll put it on WhatsApp, and I will put it on. Actually, did I put that on my OneNote? Because I'm going to be giving you the MS Word version of that. You cannot. Usman says I cannot get an exam prep. So Usman, whatever error you get, can you put it on the that group, WhatsApp class group? So I'll try to resolve that and give permission to everyone. So I didn't put any permission, but yeah, why is it asking for? Guys, make sure that you have Gmail. Try to log in from Gmail and then access that. Not from Yahoo, not from Hotmail, not from Outlook.com. Try to go from Gmail and then try this. Okay, here I'm going to click download exam skills outline. So it is downloading that, and then there's audience profile. So it says candidates for this exam should have subject matter expertise implementing, managing, and monitoring an organization's Microsoft Azure environment. Responsibilities for an Azure administrator include implementing, managing. So what they are saying in English is that you must have 2 years of experience in in any company handling Azure, right? So majority of us don't have that. That's why in the first place we came to the course, because we need to have that experience. But they're saying if you are already experienced with Azure, then give that certification. So that's really a strange logic by the vendors. They will not give you a job if you're not certified, and they're saying don't certify unless you have a job. So that's the logic that the vendors have, and we have to just get that experience in our labs, right? Okay. So skills measured, and then we go down to manage Azure identities and governance. So create users. So we're going to talk about Active Directory. We're going to go in depth with Active Directory, every feature. Those who have gone through Office 365 course have already gone through Azure Active Directory, but repetition would always be a very good idea as well. So create users and groups, manage users and group properties. So we're going to create users and groups in Azure Active Directory. So we're going to go for that. Now they have updated. It used to be called AZ103. Now it is AZ104. So they have excluded some of the topics there. So what they're saying, not Azure AD Connect. Now this is a very strange thing. So we'll check that out. If they don't want us to know Azure AD Connect, then then we don't have to do a big lab that we're about to do. But anyway, we're going through the exam, and later you will find that Azure AD Connect is there. So PIM, and there is privileged identity management. So PIM just means that if you are an administrator of a company, top administrator, and there are certain virtual machines here, and those virtual machines are really critical, and you are responsible for handling those virtual machines and the OS and app inside, right? So but what happens is that with privileged identity management, that you will be given, so you can actually give the top administrator, or the top administrator can give himself or herself 3 hours. Every 3 hours, you will be disconnected. Then you have to give a reason that I want to actually maintain or manage SQL server here, or file server here, FS, right? So that's why I need to connect again. So then you will be given 3 hours more, and then after 3 hours you will be disconnected again, and then you will have to request 3 hours. So this is for the top administrator. This means that what Microsoft is really following is zero trust. So zero trust model. Do not trust anyone, even your top administrator. So this zero trust model says that suppose the top administrator has 24/7 365 access to those applications, critical applications, right? And the hacker gets the password for the top administrator. Now what do you do, right? So every 3 hours you have to define your put username password again, and then you have to log in. So well, if the hacker has the password, he or she will do that too. So anyway, the thing is that it's zero trust model. It's just trying to make hackers take long to really crack something or hack something, right? Okay, so the PIM is, or privileged identity management, is that you don't trust anyone, and you, even the top administrators, need to ask every 3 hours, or 6 hours, or 10 hours, or 24 hours, or 12 hours, that hey, I need to connect to this because I am responsible for this, right? So that's what the zero trust model really means. So I'll put that screenshot here. And then it says that we will be creating here custom roles. Custom roles are just hey, you want to be a owner, you want to be a top administrator, or you will be given just the read-only permissions. So all those custom roles are there that we need to create and understand as well. Then there are managed subscriptions here, Azure policies, Azure resource locks. So we're going to be creating a free Azure account there, and put a link in WhatsApp for get the exam prep. Oh, so Osman is asking, I cannot get the WhatsApp. Can you put the link in WhatsApp?
No, no, actually, I'm looking for, like, yeah, I can see that there's a link you have pasted there in the Word doc, I guess. So you just said that you're gonna paste it in WhatsApp.
This one that
So
I'm
if you can
sharing.
do it, please.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, so we'll do that on WhatsApp as well. Yeah, this chat is not very, and the other one as well. Okay, so I'll put it in the class WhatsApp group, and those who just joined today will be also added to the class WhatsApp group. I'll be adding you there. Just say hello to me on WhatsApp. Maybe you're already there. So okay. Okay, so all the links are in the class WhatsApp group here. And what I'm saying here is that we're going to be creating their resource groups. A very interesting, feature there. That a resource group is, and we're going to create that. It is that, suppose you have created for a project. Suppose there's a Toronto project there, and for that project you need to create 200 VMs there, virtual machines, and you need to create two networks there, so separate networks that you will create there. And then there is one storage group that you want to create, storage to upload files and folders, right? Storage group. So resource group just means that these are all resources, right? 200 virtual machines is 200 resources, two networks is two resources, and one storage group is one resource. So resource group just groups the resources under one name. Suppose you call it Toronto project. Toronto Proj is the name of the resource group. So the good thing is, first of all, you can organize the resources according to some project under any category. Second thing is that when you are done with the project and you want to get rid of those resources, you want to delete 200 virtual machines, you want to delete 2 networks, you want to delete 1 storage group. So you don't have to go one by one and delete the virtual machines. You just go to the resource group there, and you simply delete the resource group called Tor project, suppose, and all the resources that you attached or mapped to this resource group will be deleted. Once you just delete this one resource group, everything attached to it will be automatically deleted for you. So that's a really cool feature. We're going to use that a lot. We're going to do labs. Every class we're going to do a lot of labs. So for that class day, we're going to create a resource group first. We're going to attach, suppose any one class day, we're going to create 1 virtual machine or 2 virtual machines and 1 storage group. So we're going to attach them all to one project, one resource group here. Then at the end of the class, we need to delete those resources, right? So this will be our way. If you don't want to incur any charges, obviously you won't, and I won't let you. I will try to do those labs in a way that you won't get any charges. You won't get charged. So, but we're going to delete all the labs that we create in the class. We're going to delete it at the end of the class, right? But the thing is, in order to understand cloud, you have to follow the concept of uh, do not fear and do all the labs till the end. Do not fear, do all the labs till the end. Some people are so afraid, oh, I will get charged this much, that much. If they charge you 1 cent, it's really worth doing a big lab there, and I would be willing to pay 20 cents or $1 even. The less, even this is not the price of the coffee there, but if you learn more, that will get you later a 35 per hour job. So that 1 cent or 10 cents is worth giving. But during the free trial, you will be given $260 worth of resources. For 30 days you will be able to use $260. They will not send that money to your account. This much worth of resources you will be using for 30 days, but after that your 30-day account will be converted to pay as you go. I am working on this account for last 4 years, pay as you go. But I do the labs in such a way that you won't be charged even a cent, right? But if you are charged 1 or 2 cents, and you're doing a lab that might get you the job in the future, so it's worth giving that 1 cent. But don't worry about, oh, my free trial is gone. It was just for 30 days. Oh, now I'm on pay as you go. I have to be careful. Yes, I know. If you exactly follow me, you won't get charged. If you you remember that this means that you really have to follow me, right? So just remember the word okay. Wow, what a way to okay, so anyway, what we're talking about the resource group, and then I went talking about the 30 days. Later I'm going to ask who has created the Azure account and who has not created the Azure account. Because if you create the Azure account today or yesterday, your 30 days have started already, right? And then I'm going to ask who has not created the Azure account yet, right? So let me just, well, you know what? It's all gone, but I didn't want to save that. Anyway. In this, Azure tab. Okay, guys. Microsoft rewards. Okay. So for creating an Azure account, yes, I will be telling that to every student. Right now, we can concentrate on what I'm talking about, right? So later, I will be showing those who haven't created the account. Don't worry right now. But we'll be. Oh, okay. If you find it, that's very, very good. Thank you. So, okay, guys. Here, yeah, I was talking to another student. So here, guys, we're going to talk about implement and manage store. Now, when I go and explain this, before that, I need to know how many have created Azure free tier recently. Okay, recently, right? And how many have not created a free Azure user account for 30 days yet, right? So guys, can you answer in the chat how many are done recently? So Vakas says yes, done. I create before the class. Imane says create before the class. Okay, so your 30 days started today. Nargis says I did. Okay. Tariq says I done. Viewer says not yet, but she's doing that. Okay. Mohammed Awad says done before. Okay. Chintan says today. Okay, that's very good. So start counting 30 days. Ashraf says today. Fazil says yes. Usman, I created during the class. Oh yeah, during the class. Okay. Khwaja says 10 minutes before. Wow, that's good. Zaki says created. Viewer, should we? Yes. Go ahead and create that. So Nas says yes, done before. Okay. Muhammad Jafri, done today. So that's very good, guys. You're being careful. You're being smart. That's very good. Today we should create that account, and we will be starting some of the labs, because then this Wednesday we're gonna go for more labs. So that's very good. But okay, Ahmed Akbar says I have pay as you go. Yes, Ahmed, I am also on pay as you go. Oh, Abakar, sorry. So I'm also on pay as you go for 4 years, and it's okay. That's good. All of these students will be, converting to pay as you go very soon, in 30 days. So I'll be showing you how to do that carefully, right? So those who are on pay as you go, don't worry. We will do the labs in such a way that you won't be charged, right? If you follow exactly. Remember that exactly, right? And Chitan says not follow as you say. Now follow. Oh, sorry. I read it very fast. Now, not. It's now follow as you say. Okay. Yes. So can we have a break, please? Oh, okay. Yeah. So guys, normally we have a small break and then we have a large break. So break please now. Okay, 8:11 on my side. Oh, it's already. So yeah, we can have a break till 8:20, right? Break for some 20-25 minutes. Yeah, so we can start now and come back at 8:20. Both Asar and Maghrib Salah are covered, right? Okay, and then we're gonna go for some Azure introduction. We're gonna log into Azure now, and after the break, we're gonna log in from Azure, and we're going to then go to details of Azure one by one, and we're gonna create some resources. Then I'm gonna show you how to delete them as well. So guys, let's take a break and come back. Come back. If you haven't created the account, now is the time to do it. So break. Class starts at 8:20, right? And then we log into Azure. Just make sure that you are able to log in from Azure. Okay. I'll mute and pause the video. Let's meet at 8:20. Yay. In 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. So hopefully everyone's back from the break, and well, there's a very interesting screenshot, and that's exactly what I wanted to show you. So I'll just put that on the other side, and if I so security. Oh, okay, that's awesome. So this screenshot, guys, is really important, and this is a screenshot used when you are about to go from your 30-day free tier account is done, and you're about to convert to pay as you go. So then, when I was saying that whenever your 30-day account is done and you have to convert to pay as you go, so I was saying that be careful. I'm going to tell you, this is what I wanted to tell you, that you cannot go for developer plan, pay as you go, which is 35 per month, or standard plan $121 per month, or professional direct plan just $1,000 $215 per month. But you just need to go to no technical support, which is free. So just select the free. That's the only thing that you need to take care of when you're converting from the free 30-day trial to the pay-as-you-go. When you're converting to pay-as-you-go, just select no technical support, and that's all you need to know about that. So I'm going to grab that screenshot actually, and thank you Wakas for sharing that. So I'll just put it there in the first page as well. Whenever you're converting, and today so many of you have created the accounts today, so in that case, I think after 30 days, many of you will be preparing to convert your account from 30-day free tier to this one. Yeah, one. Anyone was trying to say anything? Okay. So let's get going ahead, and you will. So this is the page that I've shown, and I'm just gonna put it here that when your 30-day free trial is done on Azure 104 Azure account, user account, then you need to convert to okay, let me just admit the students. Then you need to convert to pay as you go, pay as you go, and for this, just select the option in the following screenshot. Select the option, the support option, which is saying free. So actually this means that you don't need any technical support, and when you go to pay as you go, they can provide you technical support if your account has any support plan, but just go for free, no technical support, right? Just select the option no technical support when you're converting from free tier to no technical support, right? So this is what you need to select. So I'm going to put that in MS Word, and I'll put it in the LMS, and you will see that you can download that later as a MS Word, whatever I'm putting on OneNote. So how long it's free then? Yes, 30-day free trial. What you've created today, Microsoft is really stingy, and they in fact stingy, plus they're not really true to us. Your AWS is really 12 months free. AWS free tier is 12 months free because all the critical services there are 12 months free. Microsoft Azure also says that it is 12 months free, but that's not true. Not all the services are 12 months free. The critical services that really are needed in the market, so those are just for 30 days free. So what are those critical services? The virtual machine creation, the network creation, the database creation, the storage account creation. So this is all what we need, and these critical services are all only free for 30 days. After that, you need to convert to pay as you go. So that's where we need to be extra careful.
So after we select the free tier option, so like say, like you say, some services are only 30 days. So something left on that, we cannot do it on free tier, like the last option you have selected after upgrade.
Yeah, so this is just technical support. So you will be converting to pay as you go, and after that, when you create a virtual machine for some certain specific amount of time, then they will start charging you when you go to pay as you go. But we're going to delete that machine before that. But yes, right now, when you go to pay as you go, you don't need technical support. This means that we can troubleshoot ourselves, whatever happens. And if we are really stuck, we cannot ask for Azure technical support because we didn't put
So only for support, yeah, that is free. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right, guys. So I'm also on this no technical support for 4 years now, and that's it. Well, that's one thing. Majority of us have created the accounts today or yesterday, so that's good enough. Now we were discussing before the break some of the topics, but we need to.
I just need to know that I don't remember that I was asked the same question, like no technical support or not. I don't know. I don't remember that I clicked that one on.
Did you create the account today?
Yeah, I just created today the free
This
one.
is for those this area is for those who have already used up 30 days, right?
Okay.
So yours is first day today, but Wakas has
Yeah.
already used up his 30 days, so that's why he has to go through
Okay.
this.
Got it.
So after 30 days, every one of us will be going through this. So at that time, I'll just guide you. But otherwise, this is the main screen where you have to just select no technical support. Just hopefully you remember that. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just show the screen again at that time. Alright guys, so let us go ahead and try to understand, first of all, are we all logged into our Azure portal, right? So how do we do that? Go to https://portal.azure.com, right? And then put your username and password, and make sure that you click portal. And I'm going to show you where you're supposed to be. So there's another screenshot here, I think. Yeah, there you go. So there's Wakas has shared some more screenshots there. I'm just gonna put that here. So it actually says there, for 12 months after you upgrade your account, certain amounts of popular products of compute, networking, storage, and databases are free. After 12 months, any of these products you may be using will continue to run, and you will be billed at the standard pay-as-you-go rates. So yes, that's what they say. But just like in AWS, you have when you create a virtual machine or EC2 instance there, so only T2.micro is free. So after 30 days, we're gonna check that what type of hardware is free. So as I say, certain amounts. So we just need to pinpoint that, and we can just click this option and check it out, right? So other than that, if okay, that was there was another one. Oh, other than that, okay. So I'll just let me just drag it somewhere. Okay, so then there's another one, other link on the WhatsApp there as well, but that's the free tier, and there's a site there as well that I'm just gonna drag here. Azure Free Account FAQ, or frequently asked questions. So this is what it says: 5,000 transactions with text analytics, 20,000 transactions. So free account for 12 months, you can just use that. But when you go for virtual machines, that's where they will make you go to pay as you go. But we're gonna just make sure that it is, we're gonna stay within the limit. So you can see now here, 250 GB of SQL database. Then there is 750 hours of B1S general purpose virtual machine for Microsoft Server for 12 months, and 750 hours for B1S general purpose virtual machine for Linux. So B1S is just the type of hardware where you get, I think, 1 vCPU and 1 GB RAM, or maybe they've increased it to maybe 2 GB, but it could be 1 to up to 3 GB RAM. So this is B1S we can use only, and we're gonna try to stick to that. And but normally they will make you go convert to pay as you go after that. Before that, you can use better hardware. But we're going to delete everything within 4 hours. At the end of the class, we're going to delete everything. So thank you for sharing that. In fact, I'll just put that here as well on the chat, and also here on OneNote. So that's mucho importante to know what is free and what is not, or how much of what is free for 12 months, right? So let's go ahead, guys, and try to. What I'm just gonna ask you now, if we go for just azure.microsoft.com, so you should be seeing this site here, and here, what we need to do is, if you can see that portal on the top right, so you need to just make sure that you're connecting or clicking this portal button here. So where you should be, let me just show you that too. Oh, I was already logged in, this means. So you should be on this page. When I say that your page should exactly look like this, so in George Brown College, there are students there, so then they say, sir, I don't have security center showing here. You have. Sir, I don't have that 485 written there. I have 418. So they literally think that, I mean that exactly like my page. So it's not, so somewhat like this page you should be there, right? So this is what we need to make sure. So who is not on this portal page right now, or are you all there on the portal page? Yes. Okay, thank you for that reply. So okay, Nagi says yes, Chintan yes, Zaki's there, okay, and okay, so 3 of us are there. Woohoo! Oh, Khwaja's there, okay, and viewer is there as well. Yay! Okay, and Usman is there. Abakar is there. Tariq, yes. There is no start tour. Yeah, you can also go as a tourist here, and it's free. Just the first time login. Yes, so they do show, but I'm your tourist guide here. So, and Adi is there. Mustafa is there. Okay. So anyone not there? I think everyone's there, right? So, okay. First thing is, Ayman is there as well. Mohammad is not there. Mustafa is there. Okay. Mustafa Walizada is there. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. So, hopefully, then. Okay, who put that? Yeah. Let's go ahead, guys. Majority of us are here. And please try to mute your mics, or I'll just do it for you. Okay. I will go with my school account after. Oh, okay. Yeah, because if guys, if you have any college account, school account there, like Seneca or Centennial or George Brown, so they normally have 1 year free Azure account, 1 year free Azure account, right? And I'll just try to do all. There's dinner going on, and I hope it's biryani, but yeah. Okay, so Chintan here says, I have my son's school account set up, so automatic sign up on this. Oh, wow. Okay. So it's automatic. That's very good. Nice. So
I don't know, actually I just opened, so it was automatic showing that. So it is like setup Outlook. So maybe taking automatic like that.
Then
So
sign out and try to use actually your own account. If
yeah.
they have a free 1 year Azure, wow, you're lucky. So
yeah. So I just sign out after that.
yeah. And delete everything, yeah, before that. They should not be seeing a lot of activities that kids are not doing. And Vikas says, oh, you can use kids' school account as well. I am not sure, but Chintan, are you able to go to Azure Portal with that?
Yes. So I just go and just, because I have Outlook set up, so it is to automatic, like, save password.
But it's a school account, right?
Yeah, school account. Yeah.
Okay.
Elementary.
Elementary school. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So if your kids are at school, maybe they already.
Because I know they have Microsoft Office free something.
Oh.
Like,
No, but are you
school
on
something.
Azure Portal?
Yeah. Azure Portal too. So that's why, because of that, because they have like Office 365 is free in the school.
For every school it is. Yeah, you're right.
So might be because of that.
Okay, guys. So see this on your left side. You see a portal menu. This one is called portal menu, right? So this portal menu here is showing us the favorites as well. But what I want you to do is this virtual machine. Let's go to the virtual machine area, right? Let's go to this virtual machines, everyone, because you've just created your account. If you are allowed to create virtual machines, this means that your account is working fine. if you're not allowed to create virtual machines, then there's a problem or some more processes needed. So I'm going to click that virtual machines from the portal menu here. Hopefully you're doing that too. And once you go there, does it really open first of all for you like this? There should be no virtual machine, and there's an add button here, right? Are you able to click the add button? And if I click the add, so virtual machine is there. If you click the, oh, okay, so you can add and go ahead and click that virtual machine. So click that button and click the virtual machine button. Are you able to go to the first page of virtual machine creation? Are you able to go to the first page of virtual machine creation, right? Oh, okay. So yes, I can, and everyone's saying that. So I'm just gonna click the virtual machine now, and you should be seeing this page. So any one of you who cannot see this page, you try to go here and you cannot actually see that. So it states free trial. Oh, okay, that's good. So in my case, it is saying pay as you go. So I should be crying on that, man. But yes, it should be showing to you as a free trial here. That's very good. So you got $260, which is more than enough to create very big labs for a long time. But hopefully you will spend it that much. Okay, so that's good. So you're all able to see that. Anyone not able to see that, then you have a problem with your Azure creation of account. If you can see that, then your account is perfect. Okay, so
Can you please show us again, like from the beginning?
so if you are on portal here, and then so this is the portal here, and from there we went here to the portal menu. So once you click the portal menu on the top 3 lines here, then you go down to this virtual machines. And once you click the virtual machines, hopefully you're there. So then you can click add button, and you need to go ahead and click virtual machine. So if you're on this page, if you can come to this page, then your Azure is good. Your Azure is fully set up. Some students are not able to reach this page, so then they have to check that what was wrong with their page there. So okay, so that's one thing. And the other thing is that if you go back to the portal menu here, so this is where we're going to come a lot of time, right? So if you go back to the portal menu, then you see there all services, right? So if you go back to the portal menu, then you see all services here. So let's click that all services. Once we click the all services, then what you can see is, well, all services. So here, general, compute, networking, storage, web, mobile, containers, and it goes on and on. So all the categories are there, and at the end there's a other here as well. So just like in AWS, you click on the top left side and you see services there. So here also you can see the services, but it's not like you can select regions here on the top right or left. But when you create a resource, at that time you can actually select a region as well, right? So if we go above there, so this is all. Let's go ahead and click all. So then it will give you that category wise here as well. Under the categories, there's a button all. Just go ahead and click that. So then you can see pretty much all the services that are there, and there's so many categories are there as well, right? So that's a lot of services for any organization would go for. Okay, this service is cheaper here, deep security SaaS suppose, and that same service is called something else in AWS, and it's a bit more pricey there, so they would go for this one. Or it's better having very least amount of outage in AWS, but it had some outages here in Microsoft, so they would go for AWS in that case. So you would see all the services here, just like in AWS you were able to see on the top left when you click services, and all services will come. This is the way you can see here as well. That's one thing. And portal menu just shows you all that whatever services you have used, it will come on the dashboard here, right? So if you click that dashboard here, let's go ahead and click that dashboard, this one. So once you click that, there you go. So we haven't used anything, or whatever resource group that you will see create there, we haven't created anything, so it will just go ahead and show there. Or you can create a new dashboard here as well. If we go ahead and click the new dashboard, hopefully you are seeing that new dashboard here as well. And if you want me to repeat something, just say it and I will repeat it for you. Also, there's a video being created, so you can repeat as many times as you want. So new dashboard, and then once you click the new dashboard, there's a tile gallery, and you can go for metrics chart, resource groups, all resources, clock, user activity summary. So it goes down to what you can add until here. So if you go for metric charts and then click add here, there's an add button against the matrix chart, right? So hopefully if you're there, so you can go ahead and click that, or you can go for resource groups. How many resource groups you have created there, add that, and all resources, whatever resources. I just click that add here as well, third one. So first three I clicked add just to explore all the features. So you can see all that features that is there, and then user activity summary, right? This one I'm going to go for clicking that fourth one as well, and it will then go for how many users signed in, and you can just make it bigger as well. But this is just a dashboard that you want to, suppose some of the services you want to keep an eye on, so it will just show you those services from time to time. So I'm just gonna click, there's a above you can see that there's a done customizing. Otherwise you can just move this here, you can move that up here, and all the other dashboards you can just slide. Normally in IT rooms, normally they have those in big monitors on the walls. They put some monitor screens on the wall, and then they put these analysis there. There are some critical machines working here, and you can see that when they are being used a lot. So you can just see those in monitoring dashboards here, right? So I'm just going to click that done customizing, this one, done customizing. Hopefully you're doing that too. So now you can see all that when you go to the dashboard. So if I go back to this portal menu here, portal menu, right? So the dashboards, whenever you want to come for your important dashboards, whatever monitoring is going on, whatever reports it has, you can just see it from here. Also, there is that create a resource here on the top. There's that create a resource on the top, right? And that once you click that create a resource, so then they're asking, hey, what do you want to create from all these categories here, right? So if you want to go for, suppose, a new network, so there is networking here, right? Can I delete all the dashboards? Yes, you can delete the dashboards as well, and they're not going to charge, but yes, you can. You can remove any of those dashboards there. In fact, we'll check that out as well. So right now, suppose you want to create anything new and click that networking, so you will see all the network related features there. Virtual network and cloud guard, load balancer, application gateway, front door, firewall, virtual WAN, network security group, express route, advanced load balancer, ADC for Azure. So this is in preview right now. And for security, if you click the security, so there are those third-party applications as well as Azure's own FortiGate from Fortinet, right? And F5 Advanced load balancer, as well as web application firewall, Barracuda, Sophos. You must have heard those names in the market already. So, well, this is how we create new resources here. If you go back to this portal menu here, then there is, well, the favorites, or what we use a lot. And obviously, we're going to go through these resources a lot in this course. I'm going to go for in-depth labs as well. On the right side, you can see that there is that Cloud Shell, and this is very interesting. You can give all the commands. The main most interesting thing about Cloud Shell is that suppose suppose you're traveling right now, you're in the conference and you forgot to bring your laptop there. Suppose you forgot to bring your laptop, right? So, or desktop or tablet. So you got some other public machine in the conference, and but you want to log into your account and you want to run some commands there for execute some commands on your network, right? You want to create 4 virtual machines right now before the conference starts. So you don't have to download the Cloud Shell, and you don't have to go to its own CMD here and create the whole environment first in your laptop or that public machine. You would just go ahead and click that Cloud Shell, and it will create that environment for you within the browser. Suppose you want to log in again, so the Cloud Shell or command prompt or CLI environment will go along with you wherever you log in, with whichever machine you log in. You just need a browser anywhere on planet Earth, and your Cloud Shell or where you can give commands will go with you. So it goes with you wherever you are. You just have to log in. It creates the whole CLI or command line interface or PowerShell environment within the storage of this Azure cloud. We're gonna use that a lot, and then we're gonna understand more about that.
So if we say like IP config, which IP it will show?
No, so there are Linux based as well as PowerShell based. In fact, if we go to create storage, so let's go ahead and click that create storage here. This one. Let's go ahead and click that. So first, we'll create a storage account, or storage account is that you can upload files and folders to it, right? So at the end of this class, we're going to delete that as well. We're going to make sure that we delete that, right? So there are two command line environments it's going to offer you. One is Bash, other is PowerShell. Bash is for Linux based commands, and PowerShell is for Windows PowerShell based commands, right? So those who are Linux experts and been working on Linux commands a lot, Bash is for them, and PowerShell, where you got PowerShell scripts that you can run here. So anyone, so if config is in Bash and IP config is in PowerShell, right? So ls is in Bash and dir, or how you want to go for in PowerShell, although ls also shows in PowerShell all the directory and files, right? So these are the two environments that you get there. But if have Linux experience, we're gonna use a lot of Bash commands as well as PowerShell commands as well, to create a virtual machine, to create a container, to create a storage account, whatever. So guys, one more thing is, first we're going to do anything in GUI or graphical user interface, then we're going to try to go for Bash and PowerShell as well. Suppose you need to know that how to create a virtual machine in graphical user interface here, click, 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 right? And then how to create the same virtual machine in either PowerShell or Bash, or even both if you have that script, and how does it work or not. We're going to check that, and was the virtual machine successful when we created that, right? So what happens is that this is very useful, and we're going to use that in every class, or every the third or fourth class. We're going to use some PowerShell scripts. Okay. So that's one thing. This is very crucial. Yeah, what I was trying to say here is that yes, graphical user interface is very important, but the whole planet Earth is going towards CLI, command line interface, or scripting, or PowerShell. So that's why we need to have as many working scripts and commands with us, so we could have that repository of scripts. I would recommend that you should have a MS Word file created and call it just scripts, and try to gather as many scripts as possible that really work, and you know exactly what that script and command is doing, right? So I'll be gathering those here as well, and then I'm going to give you that collection, but you should also save it for yourself, all the scripts and commands there, right? So, but you can see that the PowerShell goes with you. If you sign out and sign in, this Cloud Shell will always be there. You don't have to download anything and then work on it, right? So there is that. Viewer has shared that as well. So if I in the chat, if I click that, oh, whoa, okay, exactly. That's a very good share. Thank you, viewer. Okay, who's viewer? So, so yeah, viewer. Thank you for that. I have shared that script. I've created that page where I'm uploading all the scripts there, and this is just a few. But I'll be uploading a lot of. So this will be one-stop repository for you as well. Whenever you're in the job environment and you need a script that is working, because we tested it in our lab environment, so you can just save this page somewhere. I'll just put that here. Thank you for sharing that, viewer. And I'm just gonna put that, so it's our script or working scripts repository, working scripts repository web page, right? So you can just copy from there all the scripts as well and test it and try to understand what they're doing, right? So I'll be updating that regularly. Whatever scripts we use, we're just gonna put it there. And in fact, many of the container scripts may not be there. Actually, they're there. Oh yeah. So container creating scripts and virtual machine creating scripts are there all. But we're gonna be adding. I'm gonna be adding a lot of more scripts there. Okay, so let's keep going with what we were talking about here, Azure. So I think viewer is Wakas, right? Because yep. Oh, Wakas is Wakas. Then who is viewer? So okay, so I think viewer is Samir, or I mean, Samir was not in those classes where I shared this link. Okay, but that's very good, guys. Oh, yeah, I know exactly. That's why I was wondering who has shared this. Okay, so I said I know, but I have no idea right now. Okay, so yes, let's go ahead, guys. And there's that Cloud Shell here, and then there is that filter. Normally, it just tells you that which directory you're connected to right now, or which domain you have created and to which you're connected right now. So I have also already asked you guys to create a godaddy.com domain. So okay, I need to ask that now again. So how many, again there's another how many question coming here, and how many have purchased a 1 year godaddy.com domain for less than $2 CAD, right? So okay, Usman, yes. Ashraf, yes. Imani, yes. Muhammad, yes. Nargis did. Chintan, not yet. So Ahmed, okay, did it already. So guys, Fazil, not yet. Okay, so we need to purchase that domain. It's really important. Ade has done it. Okay, Zaki, not yet. Okay, viewer, nope. So that's a top secret user. And but guys, we really need that before the next class. Why do we need the domain exactly? Zaki says that. That's a very good question. So guys, what we need to do is okay, Waka says, guys, get a .ca. It's very cheap nowadays. Oh, okay, that's very good. So how do we do that, guys? We can just go to GoReady.com, and then I'm gonna explain you as well that why do we need that. This is one of those things that you will be facing in the production environment. So if I go for GoReady.com on GoReady.com, right? So find your perfect domain. Suppose you go for your name domain. So if I go for Amir domain, and then I'll just put the name here, right? And then click search domain. Suppose somebody took it, so they will suggest some other ones. .com is $2.99 right now. Info is $3.99, and $1.31 is .online. So if I click the search domain after putting some name there, some name for your choice, so amirdomain.com is available. Oh, okay. Hey, I should actually take it. Okay. So and if you go down, just choose that one. That is 1.99, right? Either it is .club or any of the cheaper one, right? $1.30. That's it for 1 year. That's cool, right? So just make sure when you check out that after adding the taxes, it is still like $1 or $2 only, but not like $10 when you are trying to check out. So that's why I just go for the cheapest domain there. And if you go for .ca, .com, it's good, but during the checkout, just make sure that it's not $10. It's still $1 or $2, right? $2 or more, a little more than that. $2, 2 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents. Okay, so why do we need GoDaddy domain?
So they
Yeah.
keep the credit card information like auto save or something every year or like
So
that?
yes, second thing is, guys, that's a very good question. Uh, this domain, this domain is on auto renewal. And yes, the second year it's going to be actually $20 or $15. So just try to remove auto renewal after few days. When it lets you, I think after few days or weeks, it will let you remove the uncheck the auto renewal. Just remember to do that, that's all, and then you won't be automatically charged again next year, right? So that's another thing that you need to make sure that you have. So there's okay, it's taken. Guys, if any of the domain is taken, we just need to use that for our lab purpose. After that, we just need to get rid of it. We can delete that domain or just uncheck auto renewal. It will be removed automatically from our account there. So you can go for anything .online .site, which is really cheap. And when you're doing a checkout, just make sure it is not more than $2, right? And it is for 1 year, so it's really cheap. But why do we need that? That's the same question. That's the main question here. Why do we need a domain? So see this, guys, our main lab scenario that we're gonna start hopefully today, and in next class we're going to carry on, is that we will need, so this is really important for your production environment, for your job environment, for interviews as well, that we will have a pilot project first of all. And pilot, I just call it pilot project. And what it means is that we're going to have two things done. One is, so Chintan also shows GoReady.com, and then you can just click that link on the chat, and 0.99 cents. Okay, thank you, Chintan, for sharing that. And guys, you can just try to go to that link in chat, or I'll put it on WhatsApp group as well. So it's just 0.99 cents. So guys, let's try to understand why do we, what is this pilot project here, and why do we need to purchase the domain? This is really important. Some of my students actually confirmed that, hey sir, what you were doing in the class, we were doing that in our production environment, in our company, for our client we were doing that. So that guy actually practiced it, and his senior administrator was actually doing that in front of it, what we were practicing in the lab. So pilot project is connect our on-premises. This is our first project. We're going to do that together. So connect our on-premises Active Directory to Azure Cloud Active Directory, right? So on Azure, there is an Active Directory on Microsoft's data centers, and locally we're going to create our own environment pretending that this is the Toronto branch, right? In our laptops, we're going to install Active Directory and DNS and DHCP, and we're going to go through all that. So connect our on-premises Active Directory to Azure Cloud Active Directory. And second thing is that, so connect, this means that then synchro, so synchronize on-prem. On-premises is Toronto branch, right? On-premises Active Directory users, AD users, to Azure Active Directory, right? So we're going to synchronize all the user accounts to Azure Active Directory. That's one of the projects that one of the tasks that you must know, because in majority of the environment this is already configured, or they will ask you to configure, or suppose it is already configured and you joined that company, and they want you to troubleshoot, right? If you had to troubleshoot, then you should first know inside out of it, then you can only troubleshoot that, right? So this is pretty much in every company configured already. So synchronize on-premises AD users to Azure Active Directory, then add a domain company, add a company domain name as a tenant in Azure Active Directory. Now what does that mean? So let's talk about it. First project is first part of the project is that we have a on-premises environment here, and it's on-premises Toronto branch, right? And we have here 390 users, right? We have here 390 users. So this, we're gonna install a Windows machine here in VMware Workstation. So hopefully you have a VMware Workstation and you have downloaded that ISO of Windows Server 2016. So there, we're going to have AD, DNS, DHCP, right? And in that AD, DNS, DHCP, we're going to be installing, then we're going to create 390 users inside. 390. Why 390? It can be 3,000 users, it can be 300,000 users as well. It doesn't matter. The script that I have only creates 390 users. Okay, so we will create, we already have an Azure environment to which we logged in, right? In Azure, we have 200 plus services. One of those services is Azure Active Directory. What is the purpose of Active Directory? Azure Active Directory, the purpose of that is to offer, Active Directory offers authentication, authorization, accounting, right? So Active Directory will be installed on premises where users are getting authenticated and they are getting authorized as well, and they're getting audited as well, right? So now Azure Active Directory, and there is a local Active Directory. Why would we want to synchronize end users to cloud? So anyone has the answer to that? Okay, so Mustafa, please do ask me where should I start from, and let me know. I'll be happy to.
You need to synchronize the user, the domain replicate to another domain as redundancy, or
Okay, so first reason would be, why would you want to synchronize? Okay, one would be that you want to have redundancy. Any other reasons? And Mustafa,
failover.
you can let me know where should I start, and you can. It's your right to make me repeat, and I will repeat. Just let me know where to start. Yeah. Yeah, Mohammed, you were saying one other thing. What was that?
Failover.
Failover. Okay, so that's redundancy. Yeah.
Fast access, like from other side, like say one other side is in UK and one side is in Europe, sorry, US.
Okay.
So because of synchronize, they can access from cloud.
Okay. So if there are two sites there, then you want to synchronize users. Redundancy. Yes. Any other reason? Anyone can tell me any other reason? Sure, Mustafa, I will try to proceed slower now. Viewer backup. Yep. So yes. Anyone else? Okay. So two reasons are here. One is redundancy, that you have those users here and you have those users here as well, right? That's one reason to synchronize. What is the other reason? You said that maybe you have this North American data center where you created the cloud, but Azure is actually in it's across the planet, right? Azure EU in Europe, Azure data center in Europe. Okay, what was the question again? The question was that why would we want to synchronize all the on-premises users to Azure Cloud Active Directory? So anyone else want to answer as well? What could be the reason?
So like say here you say like one user is on Europe, another user in somewhere in Gulf country. So because of this synchronize, they can authenticate from cloud. So the closest one.
Okay.
That is the way, maybe faster.
So okay, that's what.
So what is Azure EU?
Yeah.
Like Azure Europe?
Azure Europe.
Is it region?
Yeah. So now, since we're talking about two regions, let me just give you a little input into that as well. So I had that other account already open there. So there's that map, and you can see that. Yeah, isn't that the purpose of going to cloud? Fazil is asked. What was the question? First one, and then what is the purpose of going to cloud? The purpose of going to cloud was, one is that if the users are in different regions and continents, yes, you can synchronize there. There's one more purpose that nobody has said yet, which I'm going towards, right? Viewer says major benefit of Azure Active Directory synchronization is that it allows users to have one set of credentials for access to both on-premises and cloud resources. Okay, that's a good one. Exactly. Zaki says the purpose is to have all the users on the cloud for the single sign-on. There you go. Okay, viewer and Zaki both are on track. Okay, Mohammed Jafi says, what if on-premises AD failed? Oh yes. So there are some comments there as well. But yes, ever heard of single sign-on here, guys? Anyone knows what is single sign-on?
It's like Google, if you sign one, like you just need to sign once and then you can like use all the services, all the applications or all the.
Yeah. So one
That's, I think,
yeah.
yeah, signing on one platform and then be able to use different functionalities of that same platform.
Exactly. One credential for multiple services. For multiple services. Ouch. That's so right. Single sign-on. Okay, so some users have said that. Okay, guys, may I be mute? There's a lot of static coming from somebody's account, mic. Okay, guys. So yes, this is one of the reasons single sign-on. But let me just explain now, and then we'll continue with that concept. Once we log into Gmail, we got a lot of services. Exactly. How Jeffrey says.
Can I ask like what Azure Europe like? Is it a region? Because as you told us that there is no region in Azure, right?
Exactly. So, because users were giving comments, so I went away from this map. Guys, let's just hear about this map and then come back to what I was asking about, right? So, what does this map show you? It shows you that Azure data centers are there in pretty much every continent. And why are there so many data centers? Suppose the users of no, there are so many business hubs there are so many companies there, and suppose there are companies, this is West US, this is Canada Central, this is Canada East, there is North Central US DoD, Department of Defense, has also created their critical sources in Azure, Microsoft Azure, Department of Defense US, right? So US government Arizona, so U.S. government Virginia, Department of Defense Central. So you can see that so many critical companies have, or organizations, government ministries have created their accounts in Azure, or critical resources they've uploaded to Azure. That much they trust with extreme security. But what are these dots here? So these are all regions. So first thing is these are all regions. Oh, what is a region then? So region is a big physical area, right? A huge physical. Suppose it's GTA and Ottawa. Suppose this whole Ontario province could be one region, right? Suppose they don't go province wide or state wise. They just go according to wherever they have huge business hub. So they just define one region there that could be closest to a business hub. What does business hub means? That you have a lot of companies, factories there, or you have a lot of companies, business headquarters there, Silicon Valley type of area, or just large companies are there, right? And they want to create their resources to the nearest data centers. So one region is one big physical area that they define, big physical area, right? And second thing is that within the region in Azure as well, there are smaller partitions called availability zones. So they also have availability zones here. So that are called AZs, availability zones. Wow, what a color. So I'll just go for cyan. Okay, so availability zones are okay. Availability zones here are smaller physical areas, and that first of all, it's a big region, and within that they have smaller partitions. So this is a big region. Then there is AZ1, then there is availability zone 2, then there is availability zone 3. Okay, even that is not a very good color choice. I'll just go for another one, magenta. Okay, so these, what do these availability zones do? they are smaller partitions of the big region, you can say. And second thing, they all contain 2 to 8 data centers, right? So there will be DC1, data center 1. One data center can have.
Being that flu season, it won't take much to overwhelm hospitals and their supplies. Negative
Have
CDC
related to COVID-19 right now.
This was the last day for conservatives to vote. That's about.
Guys, can you mute your mic? Okay, so here, hey, somebody's listening to COVID-19. I'm so hurt now. Okay, so anyway, I'm just, I was explaining that, and Ashraf Akasha wants to log in. Okay, I'll have to remove all this. Okay, I'll create that again and mute everyone. Yeah. So guys, what I was talking about, I'm just gonna quickly do that now. First thing is there's a region, and region is a big physical area, like the size of you can say Ontario or Montreal or any other. Quebec, sorry. Right. And then within the region you have multiple you can have two availability zones, which are just smaller physical partitions, or the 2 to 6 availability zones, right? Availability zone 2, availability zone 3, and then there is also DC data centers inside. One data center can have up to from 100,000 physical servers up to 300,000 physical servers, right? Like Dell or HP or others, IBM. So one data center, there could be two data centers there, DC2, and then there could be three data centers in one availability zone. What is the purpose of that? Purpose of that is if you create one virtual machine here, its partner virtual machines can be created here, right? And if this data center goes down, it will fail over to its partner machine in the other data center. Suppose you want to pay more, and this virtual machine you want to create its partner machine in another availability zone, you can do that. And if this whole availability zone outage occurs, then you can fail over to the other availability zone, right? That has its own data center 1 having 100,000 servers, data center 2 having 100,000 servers, and data center 3. And it also, third availability zone also has data center 1, data center 2, data center 3, right? So now if you want to spend some more money, so there is North American region, so this is Canada Central region, right? So this is Canada East region. Suppose you want to create one more partner virtual machine of this. One is in Canada East here, suppose, and other its partner machine is in West US, right? This is another region. So another region. So if the whole region level outage occurs, your virtual machine will fail over to the West US region. That region also has its own availability zones there, AZ1, AZ2, and every region has that. And then each zone also has its own DC1, data center 1, and each data center having 100,000 up to 300,000 servers. Data center 2, data center 3, then data center 1, data center 2. So they all have their own infrastructure. But remember one thing, there is region, then there is availability zones, and under availability zones are data centers, DCs, right? So if you have now you can create your virtual machine in Canada Central, but you have your clients in Norway East, right, or West Europe. These are also regions because there's a huge business hub here in Europe. So you would see that there will be a lot of data centers here in Europe. You can see a lot of dots in small area. Europe is small, right, compared to North America. So you would just create, suppose you have your business clients here in Europe, and you also have your business clients in this North America as well. So you will create your data, you will create virtual machines or data here, and you can create your data here in Europe's data center as well, right? Because you got some clients. So those clients in Europe, they don't have to connect all the way to North America to retrieve the company data. They can connect to their data from their local nearby data centers as well. So that's called your West Europe region, that has its own availability zones, has its own data centers, and 100,000 servers minimum. So that's how everything works. That these are all regions, and those dotted lines are these regions are under construction. Israel Central has a region they are constructing there. Poland, there's a region being constructed. Spain Central has a region being right.
I got a question that you said that if we are located in US and our client is in Europe, so he doesn't need to come like to us to retrieve the data. He can get the data from the data center in Europe,
Exactly.
right? Like from in availability zone in
Why?
Europe.
Because synchronization
So
is there.
it doesn't matter. It's in one region or like they both would be different regions, right?
Exactly.
So regions doesn't matter.
So they are both different regions because they are really far away, and region is a physical area. So you would just turn on the synchronization, two-way synchronization or one-way synchronization across the regions, and whatever data you have here in the North American region, you will have it in Europe region as well. And those clients don't have to connect, because if they can technically connect to the from Europe to North America as well, but then the bandwidth cost will be more. So why don't they connect to their nearest region, and the synchronization is going on, and that synchronization cost is much lesser than actual bandwidth cost of an user connecting there, right? So hopefully we understand that there's a region, then there is a AZs, and then there are DCs among AZs. There domain controllers, domain controller, domain controller, domain controller, domain controller, right? Just for redundancy purpose, just for failover purpose, just for synchronization purpose, right? So yeah,
So how many DC under is that maximum?
yeah. So
It can.
there will be 2 to 8 data centers that will be available within one availability zone. So it depends on that which availability zone is there. So suppose remember that in AWS, North Virginia had how much? 6 availability zones, right?
Yeah.
So, but if you went to US West region, it had only 2 availability zones. So it depends on where the business hub is. There they will create as many availability zones. Now you got the east side, east coast of Canada and US have a lot more business hubs there, and more organizations and company headquarters are there than in West Coast. But in West, they will still put regions because they want to create a redundancy within the US as well. That data synchronization should be there as well. Suppose there's an outage here, all clients will connect to this West US. So depends on if the business hub, more business is going on in the East, they will create more availability zones and more data centers. So they say normally 2 to 8 data centers. Maximum, there's no maximum. They can create more than 8 as well. But one data center has 100,000 physical servers up to 300,000 physical servers or even more. So it's
In exam, there is no question like that. How many maximum data center or like
actually
that?
they should even in the maximums they don't mention that because they may need more, so they don't give a limit to that. Suppose there are too many customers connecting to that same Canada East region or this region, US East region. So in that case, they might have to create more data centers. So they don't want to put a limit there. Okay.
How would we know that which region are we in?
Yeah. So in Azure, it's a different. So let me just show you how can we know which region. Suppose this. I'm gonna go to. I'll quit here. And then I'm gonna go to a virtual machine. Remember that I asked you to go to the virtual machine area. If I quickly go there and go to add and virtual machine here. So when you're creating a resource, at that time it asks which region are you in, right? Which region you want to create this resource, right? So, but in AWS, you saw that we can choose a region from here, and sometimes there's a confusion. But here, there's no confusion. Whenever you have you're creating a virtual machine or a disk or a storage or a network or database, you have to tell which region you want to create that in. So that's very good, right? So that's how you know when you're creating a region. Then only you know that which region you want to create.
So how do we know, like as a shortcut, like after creating, we don't know which
No,
region we
after
created.
creation,
So
it's the same thing because when you create that virtual machine, So there is a in the overview area, the basic information of virtual machine. When you see there basic information, you will first see that which region it is in. So that's very
Okay.
clear when we create that. Obviously, we're gonna see all that anyway. But they're very clear about this, that which region we are in. But yes, we don't know which availability zone. We don't know. Actually, we can do that too, which availability zone, but not which data center. We don't know that. Yeah, you were saying?
So if you have to change later on, so we have to come back to virtual machine and change it like
Then we
that.
have to move. Then if you want to change the region, that's not possible easily in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, whichever cloud. So once you create that, then yes, you have to move it physically. There's a migration, lots of migration steps there for that. Better download it and just upload it there. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's go back to what we were talking about. So, yeah. Yeah. So we're talking about that, and hopefully we understand that there's a region, there's a availability zone, there's a data center, and Microsoft is spread across the planet like this. And AWS is also, AWS is still the top cloud provider, but then comes the Microsoft, right? So, but Microsoft has the most amount of regions there right now. Okay. But then again, the question is, why are we going to buy a domain? That's where I started to tell about, hey, this is all going to be our project here. So what we were talking about, we're going to create our virtual machine here inside our VMware workstation. Hopefully everyone has VMware workstation software installed, and we're going to install a virtual machine together. Just I want you to have in your laptop VMware workstation 5 VMware workstation before next class. Create a VMware workstation 15.5, install that in your laptop or desktop. Make sure it is there, and just you know the instructions. Then download ISO of Windows Server 2016 trial version. We're going to install that together. Don't install it yourself, right? Uh, but yeah, if you have it already, then we can use that. Lots of changes you need to make. So what? Let's just understand this project, because we're going to start that. So we're going to create our virtual machine here, 300 users. Why do we want to synchronize all the users to the Azure Active Directory? That was a question, right? So why do we want these same users to be up there in Azure Active Directory? Why? So you told me several reasons there. So first of all, why the users are even here in on-premises Toronto, right? The users are here to, well, obviously they are employees, and second thing, they need to access what? Network resources, resources over the network, right? Resources. What resources are we talking about? File server, print server, right? Web server, and SQL server, right? And it goes on. It's a very long list of applications. So in order to let the employees use these all applications over the network, first they have to be authenticated from Active Directory. Then they need to be authorized. If they want to access these resources by name, DNS has to be there. If they want to be on the network, DHCP has to be there. So in order for them to use these applications, they have to get authentication or permission from Active Directory, right? To use these applications. What if the company actually decided, hey, there is a SQL Online as well. Okay, we are purchasing SQL Online because it has a lot of features, right? Oh, we are purchasing another application there. Yes, Mustafa, it is, redundancy is one of the points, yes, and I'm explaining the another point other than redundancy, but yes, redundancy is one of the points. Oh, so viewer says, what was the question? So viewer question is this: why would we want to synchronize all the on-premises users to Azure Cloud Active Directory? Yeah, we're still on that question, but actually this is not the only question. I'm explaining all this 3 lines here as well. So here, suppose the company purchased cloud application, SQL Online, or there's a MAM, mobile access device there, or there is Exchange Online there for emails. So and then you can create virtual machines here online, and you can put a file server there as well, VM machine and inside file server. So now boss says, hey employees, slowly we're going to remove all these virtual machines from on premises, and slowly we're going to move all the data to cloud, or we want a hybrid environment, which means that you will have file server here as well as there, and you will have SQL server here as well as there. So then you want the same users to log into the local on-premises resources. You want the same users to use this SQL server online as well, right? So in order to do that, you need to synchronize their usernames and passwords online as well. Why? The users do not have to remember a separate user and password for to access local resources, on-premises resources, and the users do not have to remember a separate username password for accessing online resources. They must have just one username password to access local resources, and the same username password to access online resources, which is what we call single sign-on, right? So for that, we really need to synchronize the users, and majority of the companies you will see will have this kind of setup. It is so important, so that's why I put that at the start of the course, that you will have this kind of setup there, right? Fadil says in chat, since it's a hybrid environment, you want them synchronized on both. Exactly. There you go. So that's why we need to make sure that, and majority of the applications companies are purchasing online. So expect that they'll be going towards cloud more, and some small companies have already gone totally 100% on cloud, and they don't have any local resources. Majority of the companies for near future will have the hybrid environment, some applications local and many applications in cloud. So for that, you need to have synchronization procedure carried on. So for that, we're going to use Azure AD Connect, right? So that's a connector that we're going to download, and then we're going to use this connector to make a connection between our on-premises Active Directory to Azure Active Directory, so all the end users could be synchronized from local Active Directory to cloud, right? So that's why we need to, so we already have created our Azure trial version. So we're going to be creating our local on-premises environment, and then we're creating 300 users with a script, PowerShell script, and then we're going to synchronize all the users to Azure Active Directory, right?
Question. The domain in at Azure, it should be domain controller of the domain on premises, or domain controller, right?
So it will be a domain controller for just the on-premises users. Yeah.
Okay.
So here it will be just the domain controller, or having the server that has Active Directory is called the domain controller, and it will be just for on-premises, but it's going to be synchronized to Azure Active Directory in the cloud as well. So those users with the same credentials, same passwords, can use online applications as well. Now that's the first thing. Second thing is, why do we need a GoDaddy domain here, right? So what happens is, when your users will be synchronized up there, they will be given on Microsoft.com free domain name, right? So their names will be ending with, suppose you are going for John, so John at whatever your company name is, or whatever your local domain name is, and then dot on Microsoft.com. So this is a free domain name given by Microsoft. Suppose your John is actual company name is this John at Bitcoin.com, right? Suppose John not Bitcoin, sorry, Bitcoin, and so what happens is that if John is connected to Bitcoin.com, that was his username there, right? But now when you synchronize John, it will automatically add on Microsoft.com. this is a free name. The whole planet knows this is a free domain name. And suppose John is told, hey John, email that rich company customer and who has been purchasing bitcoins from us. So John emails that customer after his account was synchronized up there, but then the client actually sees, oh, whoa, what is this on Metro.com? I used to receive email from this guy from this name, but now it is this. So I think it's a hacker. I'm not talking to this guy, right? So what you do is you cannot use a free domain name at the end of your company usernames and company resources. So you have to purchase a domain name from GoDaddy. So suppose you went to www.domainregistrar, GoDaddy.com, suppose, or any other, and then you purchase a domain name here, www.bitcoin.com, right? So you have to attach or map that domain name. You have to attach and map that domain name to Azure as well. Oh, from GoDaddy.com, you attach or map that domain name as a tenant. This is called adding a tenant. What is the purpose of doing that? Purpose is to connect an official name of the company with the usernames that you have synchronized up there. So our purpose of purchasing a domain name for the company is that if the company has to have a domain name for which their name. So suppose it's bitcoin.com or some other company name is there. Like Popeyes.com. So Popeyes, suppose they were just when they were creating 200 branches there, so they went to the website, to the domain registrar, and they purchased their domain name. If they don't purchase that, then somebody else took it over. Suppose they will have to purchase by paying thousands of dollars to that person, right? So the main purpose of attaching the domain name, buying the domain name and then attaching it to the users is so the users will have, we will know that John belongs to bitcoin.com company and not some free domain name here. So this is really critical in production environments. In companies, they expect you to know that how to add a tenant and then how to attach that tenant or domain name to your existing users, right? Hopefully we understand that why we need to purchase a domain and need to attach it as a tenant to Azure Active Directory, just to attach the official name to all the users, user principal name there, right? So next time when John again sends an email, so the client will say, oh yes, John from bitcoin.com, yes, I know this guy, okay, this is a legit email. But this, no way, this is not a legit email, right?
So if we are not purchasing domain or not attached to the tenant,
Yeah.
so it will take it on Microsoft.com
Yes.
automatic by
So by
default?
default, it resorts to free domain name, which is unacceptable for any company, right?
Okay, is any relation between the domain we have purchased to domain we created? I mean by the name, like a domain name, or just
Yeah.
how will work the domain we apply to our Active Directory domain?
Yeah. So this first of all, when you say domain created, so this do you mean that domain created here? Suppose you go for bitcoin.local here. Suppose the company is saying, but you end it with .local because it's a local domain, right? So this domain, the official name of the company, has nothing to do with this domain, which is the local network name. In the network, when you create a domain, you have to give it some name, right? So this is just to show that these are local resources, these are not over the internet. So over here, you have no such domain. You don't have any domain at all right now. So this is the first time you're going to attach a name as a tenant to Azure Active Directory, and whichever user you create from now on, so it's the Jack here that you create directly. So if you have attached this name as a tenant to Azure Active Directory, so Jack at Bitcoin, you will be able to attach this domain here. You can locally create a domain in Azure as well, but then you won't be able to receive emails for that domain. So that's why you need to have an outside website purchase domain attached here, so the whole planet can connect to you through that. domain, right? So like if you go for mail.bitcoin.com, so first of all, you must have a purchase domain from a domain registrar, because this domain is over the internet, available to everyone, and it has to be from domain registrar. So then your emailing will work, then your online meetings will work if the domain is over the internet and through DNS it is accessible. So hopefully we understand that connect our on-premises Active Directory to Azure. What is the purpose of that? Purpose is, if your company purchased online applications, then the users have to be synchronized here as well. So when the users want to connect to this SQL Online, they will be first authenticated from Azure Active Directory Online, and then they will be able to be allowed to be connected to online applications. If they want to connect to local resources, they will be authenticated from local Active Directory. When they want to connect to online resources, they will have to be authenticated through Azure Active Directory. That's why we will synchronize them from local Active Directory to Azure Active Directory. So the usernames will be here as well as here. Same credentials will be up there, same credentials will be down here, right? So that's the purpose of the first point here. Second is add a company domain. Now we know that we can't afford, any company cannot afford to have free domain name. Otherwise, no other company will do business with your users if they communicate with that name. So you have to add a official company name purchased from a domain registrar like GoDaddy.com or any other, and then attach that domain to the user, so they could be officially recognized as your company's users, right? Okay.
Okay, just last question. Sorry, I asked many questions.
Asking.
Just because I want the image to be clear. This domain we have paid, if down, so the user will be able still to log in to, for some reason, let's say the domain down. So what will happen in this case?
So domain down. Normally, what happens is Azure announces that which service is up, which service is down, right? So if now when we say domain down here in on-premises, so that's yeah, the physical server is down. But here in online, it's normally service is down. So if Azure Active Directory service for North America region, so East US region, Azure Active Directory service is only down. Yes, this means the domain is down, right? If storage service is down in East US, so only you cannot upload and download the files. So it goes for, in cloud, normally services go down. So if this service goes down, yes, it is down. So now, yes, users will not be able to authenticate, which means that user cannot access applications. Pretty much, users cannot do anything if they cannot be allowed to log in, and that is only done by Azure Active Directory. If this whole service for your region is down, if suppose you have the same services in Azure Europe, right, then all the users can connect there as well. If you are paying for those services, same type of applications, their replicas are actually there, they were all synchronizing. So as soon as the East US side of Azure Active Directory went down, you can connect to another region, West US or Azure EU. If they were synchronizing, the end users will never know that, or they will be reconnected again to the same services, and they will keep on working because they were synchronizing with each other. So services go down, and if you have alternate for that, if you have exact copy somewhere else running, the users will keep on working as well in cloud.
Okay, so can I add more than one domain, that the domain that I buy? Can I add more than one in the Azure
You can add 10,
or
20, 30 even.
yeah, in case if one down or something, that to ensure that there is another domain working. So the user, one user login, the user have multiple domain that to ensure that user still can
Yeah,
log in. Or I don't know, that right?
well, that same domain or tenant can be added to another region as well, so users will still have redundancy. Normally, users with multiple domains, if it is acceptable by company and other companies as well, then they use it, because other domain will be different name, right? So bitcoin.net, suppose you put the same another domain there, or something else there, bitnet.net, suppose, or .com. So that's a totally different name now. So clients could be confused with that as well. So this is not used for redundancy purpose that way. Like different domain is different domain. Redundancy means same service, same named service is available in different areas. But the name changes, then it's not actually a redundancy then. When you change the name,
You can do
others get confused with that.
redirection.
Yeah.
You can do redirection like to different name.
Well, they can use
It's
different name
not-
if the clients also are used to this. Otherwise, it will confuse other clients. Although yes, it is possible to give them. They can receive emails for different names: Bitcoin.com and Bitnet.com.
What I'm saying, like say bitcoin.com is down in case. So whenever user go with the bitcoin.com, it is not available, it will redirect to .net, another
Yeah,
domain.
that is possible. If the clients are not confused with that, yes. So you just have to make awareness with the clients. Hey, we have both these domains. We are the owners of that. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. So you like have a domain controller is US, the user is in
So
US.
there's a lot of static going on. Please, anyone, okay, I think, yeah. Now, who was asking question?
Yeah. So my question is that like we have a file server and domain controller in East US, and one user is in East US, another user in Europe somewhere. So Europe user has to connect file server. There is no online service. So they have to come to directly in East US, or is there any other way they can
So if
connect?
that file server is there in, so there's a file server here, and if you create a copy of it, which is active passive copy, and you created that in East US and in Europe. So yes, if one of the region is down or the file server is down, the user will be redirected to the other region where the copy of the file server is now active. It will be on standby, and that's the main reason for creating regions, separate regions. So for redundancy purpose, if they were synchronizing, yes.
So we can create another server over there like
You have to
active
create
passive
that, and
copy or
yeah,
something.
company will have to pay for that.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. So then there are questions there as well. Oh wow, there's a lot of. So viewer says on the top. So user plus attach as a tenant in Azure domain makes it official as your tenant represents your organization. Yes, exactly, viewer. That's it. And Tariq says, but that's very rare considering the failover that Azure has built into their infrastructures. Yes, it's rare, but sometimes it can happen, but rare. You're right about that. Mustafa says, how often they sync? Yes. What is a synchronization? So synchronization is asynchronous replication. In cloud, always it is asynchronous replication, right? What is that? There's a synchronous replication and there's an asynchronous replication. So asynchronous replication, there's always a delay in that. There's some data loss also there if the disaster strikes and there was some data on that was trying to be written on the other side. So on the cloud, it takes after some time. So it could be every minute. You can change the replication to whatever time you want, but it could be every 5 minutes, it could be every 10 minutes. You can control that, and it will just synchronize. If it's huge data, obviously you can't then do a synchronization because it's cloud, it's WAN. Big data, suppose there's a 100 GB file, you cannot synchronize that. So it's only smaller files you can, over the cloud, over the WAN, synchronize with each other. And then question is, Tariq says every 30 minutes. Yes, it could be 30 minutes, but you can change that time as well. Okay, Tariq says, but depends on organization preference. Yes. Mustafa says, I mean region to region. Oh, if there is a trust. Waqas says, trust relationship. Well, yeah. Normally regions, you just have to create a resource in another region, and then you need to start that synchronization procedure. So we'll do this lab. We're going to create another machine in another region, and then we're going to synchronize that as well. So then we'll talk in detail about that. But yes, it is technically possible, but there is always asynchronous replication or slow replication, delayed replication. It's not synchronous. Well, and Okay, this is what you meant. Okay, so and Ahmed said that the domain name has to be the same on both on-premises and Azure. So Ahmed, no, it doesn't have to be the same domain name here, because normally when you deploy an email server here, Exchange server in, so you can separately just put any company domain name there, which doesn't have to be the local domain name of the resources. So no, if you want to add a tenant here up here, the local domain controller domain name can be different and it's all okay. They don't have to be the same. Technically, you can create a same name bitcoin.com local domain here as well. You can create, and the same you have on the internet. Yes, technically you can create that. Normally, administrators prefer to create .local. Why? Because you want to in monitoring software, you want to know that what resources are belonging to local environment and what resources are belonging to the internet or cloud environment. Otherwise, it will be more confusing. So, but technically, yes, you can create bitcoin.com local domain here as well. Okay, guys. So hopefully we understand. So we're going to start this pilot project, and before that, so what you need to do, I'm just going to put that drawing here, and we all the questions are very welcome, and please do ask more questions. That's how we clarify, and others also realize that, oh yeah, there was this aspect as well. Now, before the next class, what we need to do is so before next class. Now, last class also I said that, but we were talking about the career and introduction as well. So before next class, what we need to do is that make sure we have VMware workstation installed. So make sure domain from GoDaddy.com has been bought, right? Download Windows 2016 ISO trial, but do not install it, right? So we're going to start with all this. We're going to do the whole project now, step by step, and we're going to synchronize all the users to Azure, and then we're going to add the domain from GoDaddy to Azure. We're going to attach the name to that domain name to synchronize users as well. So that's a whole project. It's going to be fun. And after that, we're going to go with Azure Active Directory, step by step, all the features we're going to explore one by one, right? So make sure this all is done there, right, before the next class, because we're going to start right away. Please be on time there. 6 o'clock class starts, so be there at 5:55, right? Okay, so any questions, let me know.
Yeah, sir, my VMware is 15, not 15.5. That okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you everyone, and let's start some hard work, and see you in next class. Those who are preparing for AWS, your deadline is 21 September. Please get certified before that. Do work hard, create groups, and create audio groups there, WebEx groups there, TeamViewer groups there. Oh, from TeamViewer, guys, everyone's still there. Please install TeamViewer free edition in your computers as well. Okay, that's another one. I'll put it on WhatsApp class group. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye bye. See you. Have TeamViewer also. Suppose I need to connect sometimes, so in that case, and those who are not getting some access to services, let me know on WhatsApp, and I'll try to fix that. Okay, bye bye.
Do we need to delete any do we need to delete dashboard or anything else?
Okay.
In
Well,
services?
dashboard doesn't cost, but we can go to the dashboards and yeah, we can delete them. So they are not even actually configured right now. So we can just go for, first we have to fill it up with information. We have to attach it with some resources. Then we can get rid of it. But yes, you can delete them once the resources are connected. So here, resource groups, if you go, you just need to make sure that in portal menu you don't have anything in resource groups. That's the most important thing right now. But dashboards, you don't have to worry about it. They don't cost. In my case, I have a resource group here. But if you have resource group in portal menu, this one, if it is empty, that's it, guys, you're good. It needs to be empty. I have it because you know, I do labs on this.
There is one by default, I guess, like Cloud Shell Storage. It's just
If you have that, just try to delete that. So go to resource group here, resource groups, and then try to delete that. Just go to Cloud Shell, inside the Cloud Shell, and then delete resource group. There's a delete resource group here, and I can repeat that for whoever asks that. Cloud Shell over there. Oh, write the exam without studying it. No. After studying the exam, those who are done with the AWS. So, haven't I not deleted that already? Oh yeah, I'm also already deleting that. So I'm just showing the way. If you see that, just go ahead and delete that, guys, in your area, in your Azure. So, okay, guys, see you this Wednesday.
Can you please tell again how can we delete it, please?
Portal menu first of all, and then you go to this resource groups, and once you go to the resource groups, then whatever you see there, just go inside that resource group. Once you go inside the resource group, then there's a delete resource group here. Hopefully you're there. And once you click the delete resource group, then it asks you to just copy paste the name of the resource group here and click the delete button down here. Right? Okay. So stopping the video in 3, 2.